Good morning, guys. How are you all? I hope everyone is cool. As I told in my Discord, I would love to talk about previous day's hindsight price action first, then I will go for today's price action. So I'd love to start with yesterday's price action and today's bias. I will need maximum 5 minutes to explain today's bias or today's price action. So I'll spend little time, like 10 to 20 minutes for yesterday's price action, then we'll go for today's price action or today's predicted price action. Before going everywhere, just let me know if you can hear me. If everything is okay, just let me know that. So today's price action is hindsight now, but when I showed you the price action before the price printed on the chart, all you have to do is you have to just follow that things. That's all, nothing else. It's very simple. Just follow that. Believe it is going to happen. Sometimes it won't happen, but most of the time it is going to happen. So just believe it. It will help you a lot. Thank you for saying that loud and clear. You see this high over here. This is the 15-minute chart for Nasdaq. This high has taken over here as a shallow run. That means there is nobody above that high, which is a shallow run. It is called the obvious liquidity. Now, if I come here, this is yesterday's price action over here around this area. This is that obvious liquidity or the buy side liquidity around this area. Previous day, my bias was bearish, this low and that low. That means it is in Monday, okay? In Monday, I had this relatively equal lows over there. In Monday, my bias was bearish and I was looking for sell only, no buy. Because that was obvious to me and I was thinking that it will fall for that sell side liquidity. This is the last fair value gap. That could be the target. Market fall little bit in Monday, and as you can see from here, after 9:30, market was little consolidating around this area. Around 6 p.m., that means after the market closed, then reopen around 6 p.m. Market went little higher, trade the mid threshold of that order block, boom. Reached wherever I wanted to see the market will come here. So keep that in your mind. What happened? That was my expectation in the morning session or the daily session. That was the run before the session, so we have nothing to do with that run. That whole price action here, that was the Monday's price action. I was bearish and we have outlined the bearish setup, even though it was consolidating, but we have outlined the bearish setup. Then market came here. After reopen the market around 6 p.m., boom. Took that relatively equal lows over there, trade that last fair value gap. Now I'm coming to this Tuesday price action. When I have seen that all of the sell side liquidity has been taken, market has respected this last fair value gap from 15-minute chart. This buy side liquidity was my target yesterday. Okay, so you had some confusion. Some of you just keep saying me that no, this market is going to fall and that you are looking for sell. There is nothing wrong with that. But the problem is when I'm thinking some specific thing and the market is going against me. Here, that is after 9:30, market was going against me where I was looking for that buy side liquidity. Market was going against me. You started to force me or keep repeating the things I'm not interested to see. That means I'm interested to see the buy run, but market is going against me and you are showing me some kind of analysis that is forcing me to think about the bearish run. Now, please don't do that because it made me confused. If I'm looking for buy, you are looking for sell, what you will do, you will just frame the sell setup. Okay, no need to give me a sheet. No need. I'm looking for buy, that doesn't mean anything. You are looking for sell, that is the best thing. So you will keep looking for sell, there is nothing wrong. Just don't tell me that because I'm looking for buy. If you are asking me or if you are telling me to change my bias, either way, I'm going to ignore that. Whatever analysis you are going to show me, I don't care about that. I will ignore that until it doesn't prove me wrong. Yesterday, I told that if market can close below this last fair value gap, then and only then I will start to look for sell. If it doesn't close below this last fair value gap, no, I'm not interested to look for any kind of sell. I will keep looking for buy. My bias is this buy side liquidity. after 9:30, market had made another buy side liquidity over here, which I have marked as well. This and that. That was the another buy side liquidity with a shallow run. If I marked it from here around this area, this can be the relatively equal highs. So either way, you can mark the obvious liquidity or this relatively equal highs. That was the new buy side liquidity after 9:30. Until 9:30, that was the only buy side liquidity. Market opened, fall. I told you this is that midnight open. Market can work little lower of this area, can take this relatively equal lows or this low and all of these lows, which are the relatively equal lows. Market has taken all of this liquidity, started to go higher. I showed you this order block, down close, body close candle, order block. I wanted to see it will be respected and then market will go higher. First, it will take this buy side liquidity, then it will go for that buy side liquidity. That was my target from yesterday's price action. Okay, so I was looking for buy yesterday. Why is that? In Monday, market has taken all of this liquidity, trade that last parallel gap. What is the obvious thing now? This buy side liquidity. That is obvious. So I don't have any way to think about the bearishness. I have to think about the buy side liquidity. If it keeps falling without going higher, what I will do? Nothing. It is falling, falling, falling. I will do nothing. When it will close below this last parallel gap, then and only then I will start to think about this sell side liquidity, this low and that low. They are the relatively equal lows. So I will start to think that this market is going for that liquidity. So every PDRA, you can say that it is in deep discount. Now, discount and premium is something I don't want to talk about here because in my opinion, most of the people are confused about the discount and premium. So I am also not interested to talk about that. It's just your opinion. If you think it is in deep discount, you don't want to go for sell, it's up to you. I will just explain my expectation. After 9:30, market fall. After 3 holiday, it started to fall. So that was the Judas swing. Everyone started to think, okay, this market is actually going to fall for longer term. So whoever took the sell, they got stopped out here or wherever they took the sell, they got stopped out because it was just a Judas swing or the fall move. The the kind of trap move that is going to tell you market is going to fall, but actually this is actually the trap move. No, don't go for sell. Start to look for buy. Every single time you will get the opportunity, try to look for the buying opportunity. Keep that in your mind. It has taken this sell side liquidity. At the same time, it has made a sell side liquidity, this low and that low. Let me mark it. This is a low and that is a low. It is a sell side liquidity. I will mark this sell side liquidity later. Right now, I'm not interested to mark it. So I'll just remove this line. If this market would love to fall or when I will talk about today's price action, then I will mark this sell side liquidity. Here is another sell side liquidity, this low and that low. Clean lows from 15-minute chart. This is also another sell side liquidity. As I told, I will talk about this later, not now. So let's talk about yesterday's price action. Now I'm coming, first I would love to mark here this bearish gap. After that long run, that was the bearish gap from 15-minute chart. And after that run, it has made the bullish gap over here. So I will just mark these two gap from 15-minute chart. In other words, if you look this one as an order block, this too is consecutive propulsion block. So this candle came to this propulsion block. You don't need to think about that. I guess this fair value gap is important. I mean, it is enough. I told that I'm only interested to look for buy. I wanted to see this will be taken. And I told if this candle can tap to this gap, it is going to be broken. And this buy side liquidity will be taken. Then that buy side liquidity, market side liquidity. If this market can tap to this gap, bearish gap. But if market doesn't want to go higher, it will never come to this gap. Why is that? It's a bull market, just a bull market, retracement. If it come here, that means it will go through this. If it doesn't come to this parallel gap, that means now it has changed its bias and it will keep falling. It has to show me some kind of rush, that I'm in rush. I'm not interested, even I don't have the time to trade this bearish gap. If it doesn't show me any kind of rush, then this buy side liquidity is obvious. Why is that? Because I don't have any sell side liquidity. No sell side liquidity I have. So if it come to this bearish gap, that means it's gonna be broken for the buy side liquidity. Now, how do I know this parallel gap will be broken And how do I know it's not going to be broken? If there is no buy side liquidity, that means maybe this run went higher, take all of this buy side liquidity. Okay, this run has taken all of this buy side liquidity, then made this bearish gap. Here, this run, try to understand this part, it's very important. It has taken all of this liquidity, no liquidity left, then fall. In that type of situation, I will use this gap. Yeah, obviously it can trade this gap little bit, maybe until the 50% or maybe until the top of the gap, but it should respect for what? This low and that low, new relatively equal lows. It can go for that sell side liquidity. Here, this low and that low, because it left no liquidity here, no buy side liquidity here. This buy side liquidity has built from so long time. It has built over there for so long time. This liquidity just market made. It just made this liquidity. So it is not that much important comparing with that buy side liquidity. This buy side liquidity here, this high and that high, this buy side liquidity and this sell side liquidity are the same. That means this is kind of internal buy side liquidity or sell side liquidity or something like that, that market has made in the session, inside the session. But this buy side liquidity has made for so longer time. It has been made from very long time. So before the session, that was your only buy side liquidity. No sell side liquidity you had over there. What else can happen? These guys over here, they could take that sell side liquidity first, then they can go for that buy side liquidity. It is also possible. There's nothing wrong with that. But this sell side liquidity comparing with that buy side liquidity is nothing, because this is longer term buy side liquidity. People are seeing that this zone is respecting as a resistance for so long time, and this one just one time, it has just made by the session. So it is like immediate liquidity. This one is immediate liquidity inside the session, something like that. If it could take that buy side liquidity, then make this fair value gap. In that type of situation, I wouldn't say that if it tap to this gap, it will go for that buy side liquidity, because there is no buy side liquidity. In that type of situation, I want to wait until this fair value gap is not broken. I'm not interested to look for buy. If it is broken, maybe then I will think about next buy side liquidity above that buy side liquidity. And if there is any other buy side liquidity, if it can take that buy side liquidity. Without taking that buy side liquidity, if it made that sell side, that bearish gap, that means it doesn't need to trade this gap. If it trade this gap, it is going for that buy side liquidity. Guys, just let me know, is it clear to understand? How do I know this gap is not going to hold the price, send it for the sell side liquidity? Or if it is being traded, why I was thinking that this is going to be broken. Remember in Monday, I also show you this type of situation where, sorry, in Friday, I was showing you this type of fair value gap where I told that if it can trade that fair value gap, it is going for that buy side liquidity. So I'm not interested to look for sell anymore. Is that clear? Just let me know that, because it is really important. So before going further, I need to make sure that you got this point. How do I know this gap should be untraded? If it is traded, this buy side liquidity will be taken. If it is not traded, maybe it will go for another sell side liquidity if there is any other sell side liquidity. Just let me know, because I have to go little further. Okay, thank you. So overall, if it left that long-term buy side liquidity, then make this type of bearish gap, I want to see it will be untouched. If it does, this buy side liquidity will be taken. If it didn't touch, it will not going for that buy side liquidity. It will go for any kind of sell side liquidity, whatever sell side liquidity it will have, it will go for that sell side liquidity. If it can take all the buy side liquidity, then make this type of fair value gap, then I can't just simply say that if it touches that by fair value gap, it will go higher. I can't say like that way. I have to expect the sell move from this gap. When it will come here, if it provide any kind of selling opportunity, I will go for that selling opportunity. No buying opportunity over here if it can take all of those buy side liquidity before making this, building this fair value gap. So I'm now going to 1 minute chart. So this is that 1 minute chart, and as you know from the 1 minute chart here, This was our first opportunity to take the buy. We go for that buy after seeing this buy side liquidity. That was our target. And I told that I want to see this market will come at least until this 50% of that bearish gap, first presented gap here. That is the 50%, exact 50% of that bearish gap. Why did I think about that 50%? Because that 50% is aligned with this bearish gap. So as my bias was bullish, I was needed to see that it has traded this 15-minute bearish gap. That is why I was looking for that 50%, which is aligned with the 15-minute bearish gap. So I'm going to remove this first presented gap here. Before the lunch hour, that was the first time when market has built some kind of buy side opportunity, but I was not interested to take the buy from here. The reason was it didn't tap to this gap. When it didn't tap to this gap, I am not interested to go for that buy. Even though my bias was bullish, I am not able to take the buy over over here because it didn't finish the job over here. It has traded that weak 50%. It is logical that this market will go higher without tapping to this gap, but I'm not confident enough over here to look for the buy. So what market has done, market went higher again, make another last fair value gap or anything over here around this area, came back again to this area, then around the lunch hour, which is around 11:44 or something like that, it has taken all the liquidity one more time, trade that midnight open, tapped over there, gave me a perfect market structure shift here, fair value gap, tap to this fair value gap, boom. Now it happens because now the market is not that much precise because of the WEF week and also the Trump, he is doing a lot of things right now. So sometimes shit happens. Even if I am looking for buy, I tried this buy, just think like that way. I tried that buy, but I got stopped out by 20 handle. As I'm looking for buy, so I will go for that buy as well. Yeah, I accept that loss over here. I'll just accept, okay, because I was believing that it has traded that 50% of that week and then gave me the market structure shift, tried to take entry from this first fair value gap or the entry fair value gap, put my stop loss below the breakaway gap, got stopped out. No worries, waiting, come back again in a certain level here, which is actually your the midnight open, tapped over there, give me another setup over here, market structure shift. Just look for the setup. Your bias is bullish. You saw that market has taken all the liquidity here, trade that midnight open, gave you the market structure shift, fair value gap, immediate reaction. You are holding your bias, didn't think that this market is going to fall. You didn't look for any kind of sell. That is why I tell that if your bias is bullish, never ever change your bias or don't look for sell. Maybe you are wrong, your market is not going higher, maybe, okay, I don't know, maybe your bias is wrong and this market is going to fall. Let that fall, don't take the sell. If you are interested to look for buy, don't take those type of sells, because every single time it has made this type of fair value gap. Look over here, one very nice bear gap, very nice bear gap, very nice bear gap. Don't give a shit to them. Instead of that, keep looking for buying opportunity where the market has provided you first buying opportunity. There, market structure shift, fair value gap. Now it didn't work. Perfect. No worries. Still, I'm holding my bias. I'm looking for the buying opportunity. Give me another market structure shift. I'll go for that buy again. Sometimes shit happens. You got stopped out. Don't give a shit. Try to look for buying opportunity if it is inside the session. As it is not inside the session, you don't need to take that buy. Just let it go. Made this 15-minute bullish gap over here around this area. This is that 15-minute bullish gap. If you remember, I'm going to remove this bearish gap because when it tapped to this bearish gap, I know that this is going to be broken and market is going for this buy side liquidity for the first time. Then it will go for this buy side liquidity. So I'm only interested to look for buy. So I'm going to remove this bearish gap from 15-minute chart. This is that 15-minute bullish gap over here. Market has made, come back again, took all of this liquidity, trade that 15-minute bullish gap, used this area and keep going higher. All of this thing happened inside the session lunch hour. After the lunch hour, market came here one more time, trade this gap exactly at 103. That means you are in PM session now. You know that your target is this buy side liquidity. This is the first buy side liquidity from the AM session that market has made over here. The first buy side liquidity. Okay, it didn't taken yet over here. Made another market structure shift, fair value gap. You tried this buy. Maybe you took that buy, or I don't know. Maybe you went for that. I wouldn't go for that buy, by the way, because it didn't take the sell side liquidity. When it doesn't take the sell side liquidity, I'm just not interested to take the buy. So it went little higher, take that buy side liquidity. This buy side liquidity is taken. Now every buy side liquidity is taken. Now can I look for sell? 100% no. You have still this long-term buy side liquidity. I'm only interested to think about that buy side liquidity. Market is going to take that buy side liquidity. If it doesn't go for that buy side liquidity, I'm not interested to look for any kind of sell. Okay. Then all of this consolidation, then market started to fall. It started to fall. Take this low from 15-minute chart. I have here some kind of fair value gap from 15-minute chart. If you go to your 15-minute chart, let me actually go over there. Here, this is that 15-minute chart. Look at this fair value gap over here, which is kind of entry gap or last gap, whatever you say around this area. All of this fair value gap has been traded by this run. Going 1-minute chart again. Took all of this liquidity gave me the market structure shift here. Okay, just think about that. Gave me another market structure shift over here. I tried another buy over here. So when it came to this entry fair value by immediate reaction, that means within 3 candle, 1, 2, 3, within 3 candle, it came to this gap. There was a breakaway gap. Tried to put my stop loss below this area because it was like 20 handle, something like that. Now I actually later moved it little bit, but actually it was like 20 handle or something like that. 20, just one tick below that candle. Tap to this gap, didn't work, simply stopped me out. So what I'm going to think, this market is going to fall 100% no. I will keep looking for another buying opportunity. Now what happened? Market fall one more time, took another liquidity, came here, made this low and that low relatively equal lows. So this low and that low, they're the relatively equal lows. I wasn't patience enough to take another buying opportunity over here after seeing these relatively equal lows around this area. As you can see here, this low and that low, they are very clean lows. So I couldn't take the buy from here, and market actually fall here. All of these things, I guess yesterday we had some kind of earnings or something, I don't know, but actually it has came here one more time, made another market structure shift, fair value gap, boom, by that earning things or something like that, came here, took that immediate buy side liquidity, which is the shallow run. That was my first interest to see. That was my target, 30 and or something like that. And then this buy side liquidity. This PM session was little. I'll talk about this, why this PM session was like that. I'll talk about this as well. So it take that liquidity by the earnings. I didn't know that I had the earnings. If I knew that it had the earnings, I would never go for that buy, because market will wait for the earnings to take the liquidity. It will wait until the earnings. So when the earnings came, market gave me the run the way I was expecting it will go. Now it is outside of the session as well, so I won't be able to trade here. This whole PM session, I should not go for any kind of trade. The only reason is we had an earning news around 4 p.m. So whatever liquidity market is going to make, that is going to be taken by the earnings. It would be the best if it could take that extreme buy side liquidity by the earning news. As it didn't take that buy side liquidity, it is also acceptable because that was the obvious liquidity from the 1 minute chart. It has taken that on, closed there. When market didn't finish its job, exactly that buy side liquidity is my job to take. That is my job that market is going to take by the whole session. It didn't finish the job. What happened? Market opened there around 6 p.m. First thing, the first job it has done, take that liquidity. The target we have seen from the whole day, that was my target, that buy side liquidity. So first job it has done, open, take that liquidity, then came here. I was watching this market, okay? Then came here, closed over there. That was the first job market has done, take that liquidity. The first minute after opening, because it was an unfinished business, it should be taken. That was my bias. This is why I called, or I tell you that when I'm looking for some specific thing, don't make me confused. Because if you make me confused, maybe I will take some bad decision. I'm a human being, so I'm not a robot. It's not programmed in my mind. My mind can be changed by your analysis. Don't give me your analysis. Just do your own analysis. Go for it. But don't tell me that. If I'm looking for something, let me look for that. Even if I'm wrong, let me look for that. That was the job market has done. And then all of this price action, you can see all of this area. Okay. So this PM session, only thing is I didn't know we had an earnings. I guess it was uh, some kind of earnings. I don't remember what was that. Jack T actually told that in Discord after taking that loss when I was framing this buy. After this framing, he just told that there is an earnings around 4 p.m. So be careful. I didn't know that. If I knew that, if you have some kind of big news in front of you, don't trade in that session. Around the CPI, if you have the CPI 8:30 news, around 8:30 you have CPI, PPI, PMI, NFP. Don't go for trade, any kind of trade to the 7 a.m. kill zone. After 7 a.m., don't try to take any kind of entry. You have a news around 10. Don't go for trade, any kind of trade before that 10 a.m. red folder news. You have FOMC around 2 p.m. Don't go for any kind of trade before 2 p.m. and after 11:30. So until 2 p.m., don't go for any kind of trade. You have earnings around 4 p.m. Don't go for any kind of trade before that 4 p.m. earnings, because most of the time market will make a lot of liquidity before that earning news. This news is the manipulation time when market actually do the manipulation before the red folder news. So always keep that in your mind. If you have some kind of what is that? If you have some kind of red folder news just in front of you, don't try to frame any kind of trade. This earning news actually doesn't show in the Forex Factory calendar, so I am unable to see that. Yeah, and I'm lazy. But you have to keep that in your mind. If there is an earning news, don't trade in that specific session until the news release. Okay, so please keep that in your mind. Then market actually do this and all of this price action. Now, everybody, do you have any confusion about yesterday's price action? Why it was going higher, how I was framing that buy, how market didn't trade this one. It doesn't need to trade because by using that weak 50%, which has traded the first gap here, first fair value gap, that week is important. Trade the 50% of that week, used that as a bearish gap, doesn't need to come back here again before going higher. Anybody has any question about that? Because I have to make sure that you got this point perfectly. Why I was looking for sell and the day before yesterday, why I was looking for buy yesterday, and what I will look for today. I'll talk about that as well now. Just let me know if your confusion has been cleared. Yeah, Netflix earning. Thank you, brother. I didn't know that, by the way. So question, what is the high time frame PTRA in this trade? Oh, Sachin, there was the fair value gap from 15-minute chart, brother. If you go to your 15-minute chart, you will see there is 15-minute fair value gap. In the AM session, there was an order block. First of all, there was order block. This one, there was a order block here. It was traded this order block. If you look for this entry, that was not a perfect entry here. That was not a perfect entry because what to say? I mean, this entry was kind of inverse gap entry. So if you see this 1 minute area where I was looking for the buying opportunity, I didn't wait for any kind of market structure shift, nothing. I saw all the market has taken the liquidity. Market went below this midnight open, made this inverse gap. I took the inverse entry from here. It's not some kind of inverse we talk about, but it's also one kind of inverse. I will talk about this after a bit. I mean, maybe some other day, or if there is any kind of situation happen like this, I will talk about this. The only reason was this buy side liquidity. Market has made this buy side liquidity that should work. I'll talk about this. And the higher time frame, I had the midnight open, and all of the situation over here that it was the Judas swing. After the market open, market actually go against the bias, or this was the fake move. Market went lower as a fake move, Judas swing. It should keep going higher. That was like this type of situation depending on that midnight open. And this entry here, it was like the order block entry. Here when it came, there was 15-minute bullish fair value gap around there, and here it has been traded the 15-minute bullish gap here around this area. All of this has created from the bullish gap from 15-minute chart. The best was if it could take this low and that low by a shallow run, went below this 8:30 open, though this 8:30 open is not that much important anymore around the PM session. It is important around the AM session only. So it would be the best if it could take that sell side liquidity before going higher. I guess it's clear. So I would love to start from the weekly chart. It's not gonna take too much time. It's gonna be very small thing. Okay, I mean very small. Today this is gonna be today's price action. So I'll go for 20% here and 30% actually. I don't need the 30%, but yeah, let's go for 30%. 0.3. So this is previous week candle, okay? Previous week candle. So our intention was this market will fall at least until the 20% or the 30% first. Then if it wants to go higher, we'll look for that. As you can see this line, I don't know you can see it or not. This is the line where market has traded. This is the 30%, met the TGIF because market didn't finish the TGIF last week. So it has traded that TGIF and then started to go higher. This TGIF has finished. If you remember in Monday, we talked about this TGIF, okay? From weekly chart. From daily chart, it has, I mean, came until this order block, whatever you say, it is going higher, take that high. After seeing this market, I'm still bullish until this high, which is the buy side, next buy side liquidity. Look, it is not my bias, but after watching this market, I want to see that it will go for that buy side liquidity, but I'm not looking for any bias. I don't have any kind of bias today. No bias today. I don't have any bias today. So last few days I had the bias, but today I don't have any bias. Just watching these candles or the way market is reacting, I want to see that it will go for this high. It will go for that high or not, I don't know, but I want to see it will go for that high. That is my intention. At the same time, this is the new day opening gap from today. So I would love to mark that new day opening gap over here. This is the new day opening gap. You will see that when I will be in 15-minute chart. So though it is not showing here, but don't worry, it will be in the 15-minute chart. So it is disappeared over there because my time settings doesn't allow it to 1 hour or daily chart. So there will be new day opening gap. I just marked that new day opening gap. It has taken that high. This high has been taken over here. By watching this market, I'm just thinking, can it go for that high? It's not the buy side liquidity, it's some kind of high that could be taken. Now if this high could be taken, this all-time high is gonna be next target, something like that. Okay, if it started to fall, I will look for the 50% of that week. So this is the immediate rebalance week. If you look this week 50% and that week 50%, there is a small gap. These two red line, there is a gap. What does it call? I don't exactly remember the name of this thing. ICT actually talked about this one time. I really don't remember what does this gap called. Exactly, I don't remember. But this gap is important. So if this market would love to fall, I will see, can this area hold the market and send it higher again? This small gap. Okay, so this 50% and that 50%. This is a gap. Can it respect from that gap and start to go higher again? It is also in my mind right now. I'll just remove it. I want to say it will be extremely bullish. It will go for that buy side liquidity. There is another reason for thinking like that way. Trump has taken the power and he has just taken his office now. I want to see some kind of, the situation, the world situation where this is gonna be bullish. That means pump. It will pump higher because after taking the power, when Trump has taken the power, he should provide some kind of profitability. Now, if the share market is bullish, that means, do you understand what do I mean? For example, I took the chair of the president in a country. I will show something that when I just join, I'm pushing the economy higher, something like that. Okay, so I would love to see it will keep pushing higher, at least for that high. Then maybe it can retrace little bit, and then all-time high will be my next understanding. If it doesn't do that, start to fall, maybe I'll change it. But right now, I'm thinking that this is gonna be taken, and then all-time high. I will look for that. I mean, next next target as a next target from lower time frame. Today I don't have any bias. I'm gonna repeat it one more time. I don't have any bias, so I will wait for some certain situation before taking any kind of entry. But from a higher time frame, this high, I will keep looking for that high. Can it go for that high or not? From the hourly chart, as you can see, here is no sell side liquidity, nothing. I don't have any buy side liquidity except that buy side liquidity. So I would love to mark that buy side liquidity here, which is the all-time high. Okay, so this high and that high, they're the clean highs. It is a shallow run, little shallow run, but that is the clean highs. So far I have just that buy side liquidity. Below that buy side liquidity, I don't have any other buy side liquidity. Now I can see this is relatively equal highs, which is that high. If you remember from the daily chart, yeah, obviously it can go for that high, and then that buy side liquidity, which is my interest to see, can it go for that. Right now I have no bias, no selling bias, no buying bias, because from hourly chart, as you can see, hourly chart is the best chart to look for the liquidity. I mean, if hourly chart can make some kind of liquidity, that is the best area to think about the liquidity. Obviously it can reverse. If it start to reverse, then maybe I'll think about some kind of selling opportunity. Today I don't have any bias, no bias at all. This from 15-minute chart, this is the new day opening gap around this area. As you can see, this candle open and this candle close. This is the new day opening gap around this area. So I have this new day opening gap over here. Market has taken all of this buy side liquidity, that is swing high has been taken. This high here, that there is another high. Okay, let me mark that high as well, because it will be important later. Here from 15-minute chart, this high, currently market is over here, and that high. Okay, so you can see that it has engineered new buy side liquidity. So that high and this high is now a relatively equal highs. So around 9:30, maybe market will fall a little bit, but this buy side liquidity, initially I will look for that. Okay, I'm not just interested to think that this sell side liquidity will be taken, which is clean lows, or that sell side liquidity will be taken, which is also clean lows. If this market can close below this new day opening gap, maybe after that I'll think about this sell side liquidity and that sell side liquidity. But immediately I am interested to think that this market will go higher. I don't have any bias today, no bias. So I will react with the market. If it provide me buying opportunity, I'll go for buy. If it provide me selling opportunity, I'll go for sell. So it will depend on the session. Right now, I don't have any bias. It can be like a day where I will have no trade. It is also possible. So if it can engineer the liquidity from 15-minute chart, that can be my bias for the later of the session. Until then, I have no bias. If you have the bullish bias, you can go for that. If you have the bearish bias, you can go for that. If you have the range bound bias, you can go for that. I have no bias, so I will work without any bias. From the very high time frame, I want to see some kind of bull run. So if it provide me the bull run, maybe I'll be able to catch some buying. But for the selling, I really don't have anything, nothing. Just simply I have nothing. Obviously, let me know what is your bias. Actually, let me make a poll over here so that I can know what is your bias. And I'll just add bullish or bearish. Okay, no range bound. Bullish, bearish, and like no bias. No BIAS, no bias, like me. So if I was able to vote here, I would go for no bias. I mean, from higher time frame, if it can go little higher, it is cool. But to be honest, I don't have any bias. So this is 9:30 open, and let me go to the regular trading hour. This is the opening gap. I would love to mark the opening gap just because to see if it can trade the 50% of that opening gap. Just to look for the 50%, can it trade the 50% of that opening gap before going higher or before going lower? I'll just mark it. I have no way to think like that way, Indian fashion. I have to wait. I mean, here I will just wait, keep waiting. It can be consolidated market. You can see the big move before around the midnight. This is a big move around the midnight. It came from there 8:39 to 9:35. So almost 100 handle move, and it has started to run from there. Actually, it's a big move before the session, so it can be consolidated as well. I don't know. I have no bias, so I don't know where the market will go. I'm kind of situation where I have no bias. But initially, this buy side liquidity, and then if it can go a little higher, that is my initial thinking. Okay. And obviously, I will see if it can provide me 2500 from the first presented gap. That is also important. So I'll think about that. Again, even if it keep going higher, I have no bias. Okay. Initially, I'm thinking it can be taken this immediate buy side liquidity, and then the next buy side liquidity, which is around this area. Can it go for that or not? Okay. Initially, I'll think like that. I'll just watch the first fair value cap. Can it provide me 25 handle or not? I'm not going to take this one because it's gonna be a huge stop loss, I believe. So obviously, like 100 handle or 40 handle, 50 handle stop loss, I don't like that. It's the first presented gap according to me and according to ICT. So both of us will be agreed with this first presented gap. I'll keep it like first presented gap. As you can see, it's like near about so much. Okay. Yeah, from as I told, from the daily chart, it seems like bullish, but actually I don't have any bias. So I will keep waiting. And let me check. Whenever this high is going to be created, you will keep an eye here to see if it can make another relatively equal highs or not. So if you go for another swing high, okay. So every swing high makes some line like this here, then there, and you can keep an fair value cap over here. You can mark that fair value cap as well, which is the last fair value cap. Just keep that in your chart. Every high you will just mark them to think that can it go for can it make some kind of fair value gap buy side liquidity over there or not. We'll have to mark this high, finally that high. All of these are swing high. Okay, so my intention to see, can it engineer the liquidity around this area? Can it engineer the liquidity? So going to remove this one, and as so far you can see that it has engineered a liquidity with that high, this high. I don't know which on this high, but there is a high which has engineered the liquidity over here, relatively equal highs. We'll see if it can provide me 25 handle. That is my only interest to see actually here. Would love to see, can it provide me 25 handle? Stop loss should be there. I'm not going to take this one because as you can see, according to the rules, it's like 37 handle. I will take 37 handle stop loss for 25 handle target. But just would love to observe, can it provide me 25 handle or not? Because here I have a lot of opportunity. I can put my stop loss over here as well. Just below that 50% of that first presented gap. Just this is for my observation or for my a journal to observe this first presented gap, how many times it is going to work. That is why I'm putting it in a logical level. That is the logical level which has made the first presented gap valid, which is one tick below that candle which has made this first presented gap. And can it provide me 25 handle? I'll keep an eye around 20 handle as well, because that is a good area to take a partial, which is around there. So far I have seen that market has engineered the liquidity. See this clean highs, it has engineered that liquidity. So that could be my next target or next bias or something like that. But I have to wait. I'm just not interested to think about any kind of entries or something like that right now. We'll wait to see if it can fall bit and then can make some kind of bias or not. At the same time, I would love to observe this first presented gap. Can it provide me 25 handle? So stop loss should be below this candle which has made this first presented gap for 25 handle. This is just for our observation and for my own journal. So in Monday it worked perfectly. In Tuesday it worked perfectly. Let's see what is going to happen today. Can it provide me 25 handle or not? That's all I would love to see. And before tapping to 25 handle, if it provide me like 20 handle, I'm happy to see the partial at least. It had provided me the partial opportunity at least. We'll see like that way. This week 50%, I'm watching this week 50%. That candle week 50%. I don't want to see that body will close below the 50% of that week now. You can mark a the fib here that close to the low, mark the 50% and watch can it respect the 50% of that week. If this candle close above that candle, now it should work as an order block. If the candle can close above that candle high, then it should work as an order block. If it happened, then that can be a buying opportunity, because I don't think so it's gonna be huge stop loss. Yeah, just 18 handle stop loss, something like that, for 30 handle. So this is a buying opportunity. So I will go for this buy here. If it tap to this order block, I'll go for this buy. Stop loss is one tick below that order block, going to target this equal highs or obvious liquidity from the order block. Okay, I didn't take the entry from first presented gap. Observing this first presented gap, can it provide me 25 handle, and love to take the entry from that order block. This is the mean threshold of the order block. I don't want to see any body close below the line here. If it close below this line, maybe I'll get stopped out. I got stopped out. It didn't work. Right now, just watching this buy side liquidity, which is clean highs over here, this one. So first, I want to see it will go for that buy side liquidity. Got stopped out here, but still, I'm going to leave this setup. So when it will close out this order block, that could be another buying opportunity. Not going to take that anyone. I mean that on anymore, because that order block has been a little violated over here. So I will wait for another perfect setup. So if it provide me another perfect setup, maybe I'll go for that. Mean threshold, fake breakout, accepted. Don't want to see any kind of body close below this mean threshold one more time. Not going to take re-entry as I'm in live, but the thing is here, it just violated a bit over here, just a bit. Maybe I had to put my stop loss little below. That could be safe. But as I believe that order block, that's low, I was thinking that it's not going to be taken. I got a stood out, not going to take the re-entry, but would love to believe this setup yet until this buy side liquidity is not taken. So no selling is interested to think, and the order block is here. Like this candle tap to this order block, that could be another entry opportunity here. Here, same stop loss, but this time I'll put it below here, just little below that area. Not going to take this one, okay, but I want to see it will work. I will go for the trade if it can provide me another perfect setup, then I'll go for that. Otherwise, not going to push the button, but it should work. As I'm in live, so I can't just overtrade over here. But this is a setup which I actually believe, because this candle perfectly respected that min threshold. The order block is perfectly respecting, so the body has closed. This candle has closed above the order block. It should work again. Would love to take re-entry because my stop loss could put it below this area. It would be huge, so I didn't put it over here. Just going to believe this one. All I want to see an unfilled gap over here now. If it can make a gap here, that should be unfilled. Before taking the buy side liquidity, you can see here that buy side liquidity. Before taking that on, it should be unfilled. And this is the first presented gap, 25 handle. I don't want to see this candle will come back again and close this one. So 25 handle has been provided here. 25 handle has been provided. Now let's see if it can go for that buy side liquidity. This boom I got from the first presented gap. Just write down this one from the first presented gap. Now my interest to see, can it go for that buy side liquidity? That was not accepted. That was not expected. It is not the unfilled fair gap yet, because the third candle has fully closed this gap. So it's not the unfilled gap. Still I'm looking for the unfilled gap. Came back again to trade that order block one more time. Made that liquidity much more stronger. Should take that liquidity. It can be one tick above that liquidity. I mean, little above the liquidity, which is gonna be there. Let's see if it can reach over there. Well, I don't want to see that this candle will come back again to this min threshold, because if it come to this min threshold, then there's much more possibility it will go for this relatively equal lows. So don't want to see it will come back again to this min threshold, this line. It should not come back to this min threshold again. If I would love to believe this order block again. Still, I didn't find the unfilled gap, so I need an unfilled gap. If this candle can close above that candle, this is going to work as a propulsion block. I'm talking about this candle. It should not be breached now. It should work as a propulsion block. At the same time, if it doesn't trade that propulsion block and make a fair value gap over here, I'll look for the same unfilled gap, because I didn't find the unfilled gap yet. This is the third candle which has filled this gap 100%. So it's not the unfilled gap yet. So if it failed to trade that propulsion block, I will expect this is gonna be the unfilled gap. Again, I will wait for the third candle to see if it failed to trade the 100% that gap. If there is an unfilled gap, this buy side liquidity is my next target, or this line, or very near to that line, will be my next target. And finally, this 15-minute last fair value gap, I would love to see that this market will come until this area, even before it wants to fall a little bit. There you go. As I told, I'm not able to take the re-entry over here as I'm in live, because you will see this is an over trading or something. I judged a lot about here, but this is my logic here. That should be the order block, that should work as a min threshold. I got stopped out here just a bit, so I would love to take re-entry over here, put my stop loss here by believing this 33 handle, at least this 33 handle. Will take a partial here, will hold my trade until this area or until the low of this fair value gap. Now if this candle failed to close this fair value gap 100%, that means over here, if it failed to trade that 100%, I want to see this will be unfilled, this candle. Okay, sometimes shit happens because I always put my stop loss in a very tight way, so I just put my stop loss one tick below that low. It happens, shit happens sometimes, but I would love to believe this setup. Market structure shift, fair value gap, not the first presented gap, just a fair value gap, trade lowest down close body close candle as my order block. When it closed above this order block, doesn't want to see, it will come back again to this min threshold because it has been traded over here as a fake breakout. All I need this unfilled gap. If this candle failed, sorry, now this is the next target, and finally this one. So I would love to hold my trade after taking the partial until the low of this 15-minute last gap, after taking the partial over here. As I told, I'm not going to take re-entry here as I'm in live. That should be my partial, like 33 handle or something like that. That will be my partial. I'll put my stop loss just below that unfilled gap until this 15-minute last gap, because I'm going to believe that this guy is coming here to this 15-minute last gap. In between, if I get stopped out here by like here, that means, for example, I was in this trade, that is my stop loss now. If I get stopped out here, I'll start to look for breaker block entry for this area. I want to see it will be unfilled, because that is going to give me the confidence this is an extremely bullish market. That will give me the confidence. But before coming here, if it fill this gap now 100%, I will start to look for the breaker block, which is something like that. This is a bullish market. Fill this unfilled fair value gap 100%. Will wait for this type of situation. Tap to this breaker block, go here. If it happens like here, something like that. Brother, I didn't notice the volume balance, but according to the price action, this is the next logical level I think this market should reach. And then if it can go through this is the extreme high, which is my target. I mean, from the daily chart, I was thinking this is gonna be taken. So I didn't have any bias when I have seen this clean, relatively equal highs, and it was respecting this first presented gap concurrent crossment. I believed that this is gonna be taken. When it has been taken over here, and all of this price action made this unfilled gap, everything has been there. So I'm going to believe that this high is gonna be taken as well, and market is reaching for this 15-minute last gap. So my stop loss will be here. Whenever it will make another fair value gap, I will trail my stop loss again, or maybe I'll put it there now, just below that down close candle, which should work as a middle order block. This should work as a middle order block now. So it is good to put a stop loss over here, and if it can make another fair value gap, I'll put it just one tick below that order block before tapping over here. So even though I took an 18 handle loss over here, which is 18 handle, I will be able to catch all of this run. Again, I'm in live, so I can't do the overtrade. I'm just saying what is the price action, why I was thinking that, everything I'm just explaining. So please don't look at my trade. Instead, focus over here what I'm doing. Before tapping over here, if this market come back again, closed this unfilled gap, I will keep looking for another breaker block entry. Okay, so I'm not going to change my bias, not going to think about sell. I will keep looking for buy before tapping to this gap. If come back again, fill that unfilled gap 100%. So I will look for this type of scenario. If it tap over there, this is not valid anymore, because this is a logical level where market should reach, which is the 15-minute last gap. So after reaching over here, can it fall? If it reached over here, went through this gap, come very near to this line, make relatively equal highs like this way, the way it has made the relatively equal highs. It can be a little shallow run, that is acceptable as well. You can see there is a gap here. This is a gap. So I'm going to trail my stop loss now after seeing this gap around this area. This is a gap. So when I have seen this gap, I'll trail my stop loss just one tick below that order block. Going to believe that it is not going to breach this fair value gap before tapping over here. But yeah, it can go through this fair value gap little bit to trade one more time this order block. Okay, so I'll put it here. Exactly open, just what to say, I mean the open of this order block, I'll just cover that high, open of that order block. If it is overzealous, it can stop me out now, or it will hit my target, which is 71 handle. So 18 handle, I'll take risk, 18 handle loss for 71 handle profit. This breaker block is not valid anymore because market reached in a certain level. Okay, it's not valid anymore. So now I would love to see, can it come very near to that high to make another relatively equal highs before kind of retracement, so that I will be able to look for another buy. Anybody took this entry? If anyone took that entry and hold it until this area the way I showed you, just let me know. Believing it is the most important part. I was believing it is not going to breach that order block. It went little lower. It is just an unfortunate. Sometimes shit happens. So shit happened over there. So when I saw that and this min threshold was respecting, I would love to take re-entry from this order block. It came to this 15-minute last fair value gap. Now, does it want to fall or does it want to go through this fair value gap? I need to look for that now. I scaled at 22,000. Oh, okay. Archana, you didn't take it. Okay, nobody take this entry. It's okay. I mean, it is all about the entry. Market has taken some liquidity, market structure shift, fair value gap, trade that fair value gap, made the order block, made trade that order block, consecutive propulsion block has been respected, doesn't need to come back again to this unfilled gap, didn't come here, reach until a certain level. Would love to show three entry. First one is first presented gap entry, which should give me 25 handle, provided me 25 handle. So going to remove this one, which is a boom. Second entry is a losing trade, 18 handle loss. Would love to take re-entry here until this area, which is 71 handle. It will go through this, I don't care. This is a logical level. I would love to hold it until this area after taking the partial just above that clean highs, maybe until this 33 handle. After taking that, partial, I would love to hold it until this logical level. It will go through that, I don't care. All I care, can it reach until this area? After reaching here, it can provide me some kind of reaction because this is the 15-minute last fair value gap. Okay. By the way, thank you so much for providing that boom. Well, don't get confused. The first one was the first presented gap entry, which I was looking, can it provide me 25 handle? Okay, the first one was that. The second one was from the order block. Took the entry, put my stop loss one tick below that order block, got stopped out. Saw that market is respecting this min threshold, fake breakout, body closed above this order block again, take re-entry. So one, two, three entry. If I would love to go for that order block entry, put my stop loss below this one, then just two entry. First one, first presented gap entry. Second one, our price action entry. Market structure shift, fair value gap, trade the order block, went higher. So just two entry opportunity. First presented gap entry, forget about that. According to the price action, order block entry. Triple boom with a loss. 1800 loss. I love to put my stop loss in a very tight way. Okay, so please don't blame me for that. I love to work with the precision. So this candle doesn't need to go one tick below that low. Doesn't need to go. But as you can see, it went a little lower, respected that 50% of that week again, the 50% of that first presented gap again. Here, respected that, got stopped out. I'm cool with that. Would love to take re-entry from this order block, and would love to believe that it's not coming to this min threshold again. Going to remove this one. It has been taken. Going to read this one as well. Last fair value gap. So can it give me any selling opportunity now? That is my interest to see. And the sell side will be, I don't have any clear sell side actually. Well, let's see if it can make any sell side setup or not. So far, there is no sell side setup. Okay, there is no market structure shift, nothing. Where you are getting this reaction, take a closer look. It's the last fair value gap. If I put it here, then it will be gone. So I'm not going to mark it, but this is the last fair value gap. Just a reaction. Can it respect that last fair value gap? Started to fall, or does it want to go higher and take that high, which is my interest to see today? It will take that high from the daily chart. Do you consider 936 candle as an order block? 936 candle, 936 candle. This one, no, I don't think this is an order block. This is the order block because this is the lowest down close body close candle. As it was the order block, I would love to keep using this one instead of, this is not the order block because this is the lowest down close body close candle. So I would love to go for that one. If I want to look for a selling opportunity, I need a perfect setup. So some kind of market structure shift, fair value gap, something like that. You write will NQH 2025. You will get the, you will get it, okay? NQH 2025. Just watching how this last favorable gap going to work. Is it going to hold the market, send it lower? If it started to send me lower, I really don't know how far it will fall. So maybe I won't be able to look for selling opportunity here, but yeah, we'll see. It's time to wait. See this one? If you click over here, you will get the NQ, but I'm using MNQ. So if you write M before N, which is M, then you will get the micro mini chart. If you would love to go for the NQ, which is the mini, then write down NQ. Okay. Just waiting. I have nothing to do right now except waiting. Mahadi, you have 19 points. Cat Lover has 13 points. Wow. Who is in the highest point? I guess it should be Jack. Yeah, Jack has the highest point, 38. Then Tamimi, and then Indian Fashion Swing Boutique. Okay, and then I have Outlander and the Mahadi. Katie Khan. 68% was bullish. That's cool. You'll get this point actually. Whoever is staying here in this live longer time, he will get the uh, more points. For example, when I have started this point or reset it from there, Jack is with me with 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hours, and rest you can see how many times you are with me. Not interested to trade here, would love to wait a bit to see how it is going to react in this area. Then we'll find another opportunity to go for sell or buy. So right now, just interested to see how the market will work. Right now, no entry. For me, I have no entry. I had the entry opportunity around this area so far for today. I went for that after seeing that buy side liquidity. Remember the clean buy side liquidity? So I need those type of situation again. I marked every swing high. This is the every swing high from the 15-minute chart. Every swing high I have. Below those swing high, I have this last parabolic from 15 minutes chart. So we'd love to wait to see how market is going to react from this last parabolic gap. Does it want to go through this gap, take that swing high from the daily chart, or it would love to fall a bit. So I would love to look for that wait. I want to wait over here for a bit. By the way, here my stop loss would be stopped out. I would get stopped out if it wouldn't tap to this parallel gap before. Look at this. This is the what to say. I mean, the last parallel gap. Above this last parallel gap, I have this relatively equal highs. Okay, over here. I can make it until this area. So this high and that high, they're the relatively equal highs. This high and that high. And this is that high. I don't need to mark it. I'll keep it to see if it can make any kind of liquidity or not. But this is the relatively equal highs that can be taken, and this is the extreme high. From the daily chart, this is the extreme high. And I'll just keep it here to see that if it makes some liquidity here, then reverse bid, then go for that buy side liquidity or not. Just not interested to trade over here. If it keep going higher, I'll just let this go, and I will wait for another specific situation to go for another entry opportunity. But guys, if any of you would love to go for the trade, please go for it. Okay, I'm not confident here to take the entry, even though I would love to look for the buying opportunity. I am not interested to take any kind of entry over here. If you are willing to take the entry, go for it. I have no problem with that. I will wait to see until a certain level market will make some situation that will tell me it will go higher. The way it had made the liquidity, remember? So that was giving me the confidence this market is going to take that liquidity. Even if I get stopped out here, I'll take re-entry because that should be taken. That was clean highs. So I need to look for those type of scenario here. All I can see here, market went higher, fall bit, went higher, made relatively equal highs, has taken that relatively equal highs. Can it respect that last parallel gap and start to fall? It is, if it happens, that is the best case of scenario. Now if it falls, why is that? Market went higher, where? Specifically last parallel gap from 15-minute chart. Fall little bit, went higher again, made relatively equal highs there. Take that relatively equal highs. Can it fall now? If it started to fall, that is my another buying opportunity. If it keep going higher and take that liquidity, I will have no opportunity to take the entry around this area. If you want to go for the trade here, please go for it. I am not interested to trade around this area. I'm telling you the logic here. What is the logic? For the first time, market came here, where? To the 50-minute last gap. Take a closer look and think it. Don't fall into the trap. Think like that way. Came to this last parallel gap. Fall. Just came until this area, okay? Come here again. Made relatively equal highs. Fall bit. Take that relatively equal highs. Still respecting this 50-minute last gap. What should your expectation? It will fall again. After taking that buy side liquidity, it will fall again. When it will fall, how far it will fall, I don't know. That is why I will not frame any sell setup. I will not frame any sell setup. When it will fall and it will come until a certain level, whatever it will provide me, anything it will provide me, then give me a buying opportunity. I'll start to look for that buy. If it doesn't do like that way, came here, keep going higher, I will let this go. All I want to see, it will fall now. Think closely. That is my intention to see. It will fall now. If it doesn't fall, going higher, I will let this go. You want to take the buy, go for it. Just go for it. But I'm showing you how to build the confidence in a trade. This is the most important part, how to build the confidence. How do you read the price? Why this price react like that way? Do you understand the point? News. Where is the news, brother? I didn't say any news today except WEF, which is the whole day. That is the all day news. Now, if this market fall, that is my buying opportunity. If this market doesn't fall, keep going higher, that is my selling opportunity. So think, first think what you are going to see in this market. Yeah, obviously there can be a sell opportunity if it provide me any market structure shift fair value gap. Now it can be a selling opportunity. All I am not going to take that sell because I don't know how far it will fall. If I had some kind of relatively equal lows or clean lows over there, I could go for that sell. Even I mean, when if it started to fall, I could go for that trade. But right now I don't know if it started to fall, how far it will fall. I don't know. Maybe the 50% of that week, maybe until the 50% of that week, maybe it will go for that relatively equal lows, this low and that low relatively equal lows, or the clean lows over here, maybe until this area. Maybe it will feel this unfilled fair value gap, maybe it will come much more lower. I don't know where it will go. So I'm not able to look for any kind of sell here. But if this market is started to fall, that is my buying opportunity. So whenever it will take the liquidity, it will trade some kind of high time frame PDRA, I will start to look for buy for that high. So if you want to go for the buy here, please go for it. Don't wait for me. Don't just copy my trade. Okay, I'm explaining how should you read the price, and you should think about the market like this. You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. There is no plan, there is no trade. I'm wrong, market will keep going higher. Okay, that means it didn't provide me any entry opportunity. I also want to take the buy, market just didn't provide me the entry opportunity. Now here, when this fall happened, did it take any liquidity? No, nothing. Is there any setup? No, nothing. Did it break that 15-minute last fair value gap? No, obviously no. Look over here. It is still respecting the 50% of that 15-minute last fair value gap. Why I will go for the buy? What is the reason for that? No reason to look for the buy. But it is going higher, brother. I'll let this go. I'll just let this go. First make your plan, then execute your plan. Just keep looking, okay, how the market is going to react. This is how it should go. It should fall to give me another buying opportunity. Again, I can be absolutely wrong. This market can keep going higher. Okay, so if any of you are thinking about buying opportunity, go for that, man. I have no problem. Please go for that. No need to tell me, just go for that and take your profit. I'm just not interested to look for buy here because I want to look for some kind of fall now. But that fall, I won't be able to take the entry because I don't know where is the liquidity. I don't have any other liquidity here. No liquidity around this area. So I don't know exactly how far it will fall. Even I don't have any fair value gap as well from 15-minute chart. Yeah, I can use the week 50%, that immediate rebalance week 50% as my sell. But if it would love to go higher, that week 50% maybe won't be traded at all. So I am not interested to take the sell, even if it provide me any kind of selling opportunity. If it provide any selling opportunity, you want to go for the sell, go for it. I'm not interested to take the sell. But the sell will give me the buying opportunity. Yeah, I know that I have a 15-minute bullish fair value gap here. It's too far. Okay, that means if this market would love to go for those buy side liquidity, it doesn't need to come here. If it come here, it doesn't mean, it means that it wants to keep falling. If it come to this fair value gap, it means it wants to keep falling for this new day opening gap. So I don't want to see that this market will come to this 15-minute last gap. But above this 15-minute last gap, I have nothing. Let me check from the hourly chart if I have something. From the hourly chart, this candle is not closed yet, so I don't know there will be any fair value gap or not. So to be honest, there is nothing from hourly chart as well. It's an extremely bullish. Any kind of buying here is called gambling, chasing price. Not interested to chase the price. Guys, if anyone would love to go for buy or sell, go for it. I am explaining what I want to see this call. I want to see this call. Why? I explained it, right? I want to see this call, so I'm not interested to look for buy here. I will wait for certain things to happen here before taking any kind of buying opportunity. But if you want to go for buy, go for it. Sell, go for it, man. Just don't blame me. No, it's not classic Wednesday expansion day. The theme is here WEF week. I have no idea how to trade this week. So I want to be little conservative here. So I would love to wait for something specific. Okay, so I don't want to go with the normal narrative this week. Just because it's the WEF week where Trump is going to, boom, 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 something like that. So just want to be little conservative. Think about that fall. Why I was looking for that fall. Anybody has any confusion how to see this market? When the market was here, around this area, how I'm going to think the next candle is going to appear on the chart? I'm looking here, the 50% of that week here. I'm just observing the week 50%. Just observing, okay? What can I do? I can mark a line over there. So you will be able to see that as well. So I'm observing the weak 50% here. So we'll have to see if it respect that weak 50% or not. Okay, that could be a buying opportunity from there. But right now, I'm just watching it. That's all. Until now, this candle didn't came even near to this 50%. So we'll have to see can it fall at least until the 50% of that week. Again, I can be absolutely wrong. So for it seems like I was right, but I can be extremely wrong. Okay, this market maybe will keep going higher. So if you would love to look for buy, please go for it. I will wait until there is some certain things. Okay, look at the fall. You knew that, right? This is going to happen. You knew that because your brother told you that beforehand. Before even the market printed this price on the chart, your brother told that to you, that it should fall a bit. Even if it would love to go higher, it should fall a bit. The only event writer gaps are now below the price. This is the open of the 930. This is the whole gap. This is the whole gap. Still the whole gap is open. So if this last parallel gap hold the market, want to send it until this new day opening gap, I will look for sell. But for that, I need a bearish gap here. From 15 minute chart, I need a bearish gap. Okay, if I find a bearish gap, then I will observe the 50% of that bearish gap. First of all, I don't have any buy side liquidity, so I don't need to think about that bearish gap will be traded and then market will keep going higher because I don't have any buy side liquidity. They all are the like kind of swing high. I just marked them. Market didn't make it yet, so I don't need to think about that. So if I find a bearish gap and then I saw that market worked with the lower portion of this bearish gap, or maybe it didn't trade that bearish gap from 15 minute chart, I'll start to think about this new day opening gap. So I have to wait, brother. I have nothing to do except waiting. If you want to go for trade, go for it. Now, if you ask me, brother, if you wanted to gamble here, what you would do? I would gamble with the sell, not buy. Not buy, okay? I would gamble to the sell. Do you get the point? Why I would gamble for the sell, not for buy? Why I am saying it's a gamble? Because I don't have any sell side liquidity. That is why I'm telling that it's a gamble. If I had some kind of sell side liquidity here, clean lows around this area, I would start to look for any kind of selling opportunity over there. I would get any selling opportunity, maybe inverse gap. See this gap over here, which is an inverse gap. Let me show you this. very small inverse gap, but still that is an inverse gap. Let me mark two line here, there, and they're very small. And I prefer to mark it from the volume balance. That would be the best. See this inverse gap from the volume balance? I would love to mark a line here, which is the 50% of that 15-minute week, immediate rebalance week. For example, I had some kind of sell side liquidity here, some kind of sell side liquidity. I would gamble from this inverse gap maybe until that sell side liquidity. I don't have any sell side liquidity. I'm not going to take any entries. I want to see it will fall. I will just let this fall go. Current chart, brother, NQA is not running contract. I don't like the running contract. Who is going to tell me that you didn't know this is going to fall and why it is falling? Who is going to tell me that you didn't know why it is falling? Who has the confusion? Let me know who has the confusion about that fall, why that fall is falling now. Did you started to see the price action, how it should work? Did you see the why you didn't take that entry? As I told, I don't have the sell side liquidity, so I can't take the sell. I don't know exactly how far it will fall. That is why I didn't frame the sell setup. If I had some kind of sell side liquidity, I would frame a sell setup over here, either from this inverse gap, or if there was 22 YT model, I would go for that trade. As I don't know where is the sell side liquidity, as I don't know how far it will fall, I didn't take that sell. I will keep looking for a buying opportunity until there is a bearish gap from 50-minute chart. I will start to look for a buying opportunity. Again, guys, if any of you would love to take the sell or buy, please go for that. I am just explaining how this market should work. All I will look for a buying opportunity. Okay. So if it can give me a market structure shift, fair value gap over here, that is a buying opportunity, though it's risky, but it's a buying opportunity. If it can provide me any market structure shift with a very nice fair value gap over there, immediate reaction, that could be a buying opportunity. Though risky because market didn't close above the last fair value gap, but that is also a buying opportunity. Low probability, 100% that is low probability. If it keep falling, I'll let this go, as I don't know how far it will fall. If you are overzealous, go for trade, or if you are patient enough, then wait. My trade should be done here. One loss for 18 handle, one profit for 73 handle. That should be done. I don't need to think about the entry opportunity again. Okay, so here, let's see if it can make a fair value gap over there. It's low probability again. If you have already in profit, no fair value gap, no trade, no buy. No fair value gap, no buy. If you are already profitable, I will prefer you not to trade anymore, at least not in this morning session anymore, because it has provided the run it has to provide. It has already provided that, so it's better not to trade anymore. This high and that high, keep that high in your mind. This two high, okay, that high and that high, keep that in your mind. Yeah, I got the market structure shift. Is there any fair value gap? No. Did I take the buy? No. It is falling, brother. Can I take a sell? I am not interested to look for any kind of sell, just because I don't know how far it will fall. So I will try to look for a buying opportunity if it provide me. Otherwise, no trade for me. Wait for a certain thing and then wait for this type of price action. How should I know that it's gonna be consolidated over here? I told you, how should you expect that? Last fair value gap came over here. Made the buy side liquidity, take the buy side liquidity, fall bit. How far? I don't know. This line is important to me. If it failed to trade that line, that is the most confident for me to think about a buying opportunity. Failed to came to this 50%, which is from that 15-minute chart, as I don't have any fair value gap over there. Okay, so can it provide me any buying opportunity? That is my interest to see for this line and that line. It will keep falling. I'll let him fall until it doesn't finish its line. Then I will start to look for buying opportunity again. Right now, I'm not in rush, not interested to think about any kind of sell. I wanted to see some kind of fall. Look at that fall. Came until this area, took that relatively equal lows or everything over here, respected that fair value gap. Does it want to keep consolidating or does it want to go higher? So I have to wait for a setup here now. What is in my mind? Just buy. Buy is in my mind. Though it is low probability just because market didn't close above the last fair value gap, but still buy is in my mind because I'm believing this is gonna be broken and market will go for those. By the way, guys, after staying with me for so long now, is it helpful for you to understand the price action a bit? How it should work and how it should go toward the liquidity? How should you use the fair value gap, hold this consolidation, everything? I mean, is it little bit clear comparing with your? Just ask yourself the way you saw the price before and now, does it improve a bit or not? I mean, did you now know why and how this market is going to work? Is it little improved or not? And give me please your true opinion, not like something to satisfy me or you know. Please give me your true opinion. Is there any development? Absolutely great, clear and clear, perfect. Thank you, Outlander Archana. Thank you so much. Very helpful session. I'm learning a lot. Thank you. It improves me. Okay, thank you, brother. It is helpful, far better than before. Thank you, Shu. You're the best. Hey, Job. Thank you so much, man. Right now, it is just consolidating. It will keep going higher like this way. I have nothing to do because look over here. Market didn't make any kind of setup over there. So I'll let this go. Buying is in my mind, but I can't look for the buy because market didn't provide me the entry or any setup. So I am not interested to look for buy here. I'll let this go. If it keep going higher, now it is possible that it will go for that line or maybe that line or maybe for that line. It will go for that, but I have nothing to do over here because it's still in consolidation. Look, long week, no fair value gap, nothing, just simply respecting this area. So it's a chop area. I'll let this chop go until it will provide me something that is going to be very important. Every single time it will go higher, I will keep looking for some kind of buy side liquidity. Can it make some kind of buy side liquidity here? Then these clean highs, look, that high and that high, they're very clean. This type of clean highs, I don't like them. I don't want to see them. All I need, it will fall again. or it will make any kind of setup to go for those liquidity. So it is building or engineering the liquidity. How do I know it is engineering the buy side liquidity? Because I have the lines over there that should be traded. So if it can be engineered buy side liquidity, that is more uh, confident for me to take the buy. Now here this low and that low. Now I have the sell side liquidity as well here. So if it provide me any selling opportunity, maybe I can go for that sell side liquidity here, which is low probability. Why is that? Because your 15-minute chart is telling you you have the buy side liquidity. From 15-minute chart, you don't have the sell side liquidity. So selling is gamble over here. You should wait for something like this. Something like this. It will fall here, cleared all of this liquidity, then it will make some kind of setup. This. You should wait for this type of scenario. Now, what else can happen? This is also possible, okay? It will fall and it will go for like this way. If it happens, how I'm going to determine that sell? I have to wait for a 15-minute bearish gap. Why I am waiting for a 15-minute bearish gap today? Because I have like buy side liquidity. Market is respecting the last fair value gap. It's not the buy side liquidity yet because it's just swing high. It's not my buy side liquidity. So I need to wait for some certain reason, certain period of time, certain price action. It provide me that, I'll go for that. It doesn't provide me that, I'm not interested to go for that. This fall, I will not touch that fall. I will keep waiting, okay? Maybe this whole session, market will never provide me any entry opportunity, or maybe it will fall, keep falling without giving me any entry opportunity, or maybe it will keep going higher without giving me any entry opportunity. What I will do, I'll just let this go. I still have long way to go, but when you explain, I understand. Before I found you, I was very confused why the market moves the way it does. Okay, that's a great compliment for you, for me. Thank you so much. Indian fashion. Bro, never close live sessions. They are boomed struggler trader like me. Hey Nishu, I will try my level best, man. Get explanation and teaching. I look forward every day when you are live. Thank you. Is it never ever copy my trade? Just just think how I'm explaining it. Now this candle has closed there, right? There is a fair value gap. That is an entry opportunity. Is it high probability? 100% no. Why is that? Because market has taken that buy side liquidity. Yeah, my bias is bullish. This is an buying opportunity now. New buying opportunity from there to there here. Okay, this is my new buying opportunity. It is low probability. Why is that? Because this fair value gap is not broken yet. So if I see it's a small stop loss, I will go for this trade. If I see it's a small stop loss, as you can see here, it's just 13 handle. If there is a bullish fair value gap, if there is no bullish fair value gap, no trade, nothing is valid. Something like this. Still, it is a valid setup, so I will try to catch that setup. Why is that? Because look at my stop loss. It's the smallest stop loss ever. So here, obviously that should be the immediate reaction. Within 3 candle, it has to come to this fair value gap. Within 3 candle, I'll try to take this entry. That should be at least the partial, but I'll close it here because it is 29 handle. I'll try to close it here. If it tapped over here to this fair value gap, I'll try to take this entry with here. Why I'm taking this entry? Just 10 handle loss. So it's, though it's a low probability, but still this is a possibility. So I'll try to take this entry as I had a loss over there and I didn't mitigate my loss by V entry. So I'll try to take this entry. It won't provide me the entry opportunity. I'll let this go. Now look over here, my stop loss is over here. You don't need to put it over here. You can put it over here, which is below that candle, which is the logical level. I would love to put it over here because this is the more logical to me, which has made this this fair value gap from this candle. So I want to take this entry from here. Would love to close my trade little below of that line, not exactly to that line, What else you can do? You can take a partial over here. You can hold your trade until this buy side liquidity if you want. You can. It is also valid, but I'll close it around 2700 if it provides. Why I was looking for that buy? You know that I wanted to look for some kind of selling opportunity. I got that sell over here. Now I have got the first time market structure shift. So it is a valid buying opportunity, though it's a low probability because this candle didn't close above this last travel cap yet. So it's a low probability. Why I'm going to take this entry? Look at this stop loss, 10 handle. My loss is $100 because I'm going to make sure that my position is fixed 5 micro contract. My first entry 5 micro contract, my second entry 5 micro contract. It's a small loss, so I would love to take this risk over here. You can put a stop loss below this low, which is the logical level. Here, if it doesn't work, what does it mean? If it doesn't work, then that should means it will fall for this area. I don't want to take a huge loss. Logical level will go for that. Didn't work, I'll let this go. Why I'm believing this is going higher? Because this is a bullish market. I don't want to look for any kind of selling opportunity now. I want to look for the buying opportunity only. If it doesn't work, maybe I got stopped out here. Okay, am I going to take re-entry? 100% no. Here I am not going to take the re-entry. Here I would love to take the re-entry, but here I'm not interested to take the re-entry. Why is that? Because I don't have the buy side liquidity. No buy side liquidity. I'm seeing that this last travel cap is holding the trade, price. So maybe it will fall a bit more before going higher. So I'm not interested to take re-entry over here. I'll just let this go. Even if it go higher after stopping me out, I'll just let this go. Right now I would love to see a body close above that candle. Above that candle, that is going to work as an order block. I would love to put this thing, sorry, that thing below that low, just to make sure that I didn't here. That should be the exact way. Put the stop loss 16 handle. Not want to put it over here. Would love to get a stopped out over there. All I want to see a body close above that candle. That's all I want to see now. Because then I will be able to use this one as an order block. And obviously I want to look for the immediate reaction because I'm very near to the macro. Look at the time, 10:43. So I'm very near to the macro. I want to see very immediate reaction from this order block. And obviously I will trail my stop loss to the low of that order block when the body will close above this area. I will get stopped out here. I'll be okay with that because I have a very bad habit of trailing stop loss. Watching this fair value gap here as well, I don't want to see this fair value gap will be respected. This bearish gap, I don't want to see this is going to be respected. That means market will trade this gap and then it will start to fall. I don't want to see that. Again, this is a low probable trade. It's not a high probability, it's a low probability. Why is that? Because nobody has closed above the 15-minute candle yet. So it's a low probable trade. I go for this trade because my stop loss was just 10 handle. So it's a very small stop loss. I know that if I get profit, it's gonna be better profit comparing with my loss. So I would love to try this one. According to the logic, I wanted to see that fall. I got that fall. Failed to trade that 50% of that immediate rebalance week, which is a sign that this market is extremely bullish. First time got the market structure shift with a fair value gap. Got immediate reaction within 3 candle. It tapped to this gap. Love to take the entry over here. Stop loss below that candle, which has made this fair value gap. Very specific stop loss. But to be honest, it should be there. I'm not just interested to put it over here. Wanna see it will work as an order block now, and this market will go higher before the macro time, because if it comes to the macro time, before the macro time, if it doesn't go higher, then around the macro time it can fall bit to take that low, to take the liquidity, then it has a possibility to go higher. Over here, look at there, still this fair value gap is holding the price. Good thing is it has closed above the 50% of that last fair value gap from 15 minute chart. It's a good sign that it has closed above the 50% of that last fair value gap, but still the last fair value gap is holding the price. Can't move my stop loss before body close above that candle yet. Yeah, still it is the order block, not this one. So still it didn't close above that high, so I can't move my stop loss. If the body close above that high, I'll trail my stop loss immediately. Before that, I will get stopped out. I'll just move, stop doing anything over here. Nothing I will do over here. My stop loss in a logical level, it should not be breached. That's all. No re-entry opportunity here. The first reason is I don't have the buy side liquidity. Like previously I had the buy side liquidity, now I don't have the buy side liquidity. So I don't have any opportunity to take re-entry over here. Take that low, which is the liquidity taken. I want to see that it will go higher. If it doesn't do that, then this can be the market structure shift. There could be a fair value gap. It will tap to this fair value gap, go for that relatively equal loss. Not interested to take that sell. I will hold my trade here. I will just close my trade. I got stopped out here. I finished trade over there. This bullish gap is still holding the price. Nobody has closed below this bullish gap. I'm still hoping that this will work. Now this is not order block anymore. I have new order block or lowest down close body close candle, which is over here around this area. I'm just going to remove this one just for the sake of the marking. I want to see a body close above that candle now, because this is the lowest down close body close candle. So I would love to see it will work as an order block. Why not this one? Because it has made another order block. It should close above this order block, tap to this order block, keep going higher. Just the good thing is market has closed above the 50% of that 15-minute bearish gap, last gap. That is the best thing I have seen over here. So I still believe that this will work. Stop loss in a very logical level. It should work as an order block now. High, open, 50% of that candle. The 50% of that candle should not be broken. Stop loss should be just one tick below that order block. As you can see, it's in logical level. I don't need to expand it little higher. I don't need to put it over there. Okay. How should it work? As a reclaimed gap. This low has taken here. It should work as a reclaimed gap. How far it can fall below this reclaimed gap? Until the order block. Below this reclaimed gap. So even if it closes below the 50% of that reclaimed gap, it can come until the 50% of that order block. Made relatively equal highs over there again. Wanna see it will be taken. Now, if you don't want to take this, hold this trade, it's up to you, because you are afraid to get stopped out for 10 handle. Close it right now. Still you will be in profit. Close it right now. I have no problem, because you have to accept that 10 handle loss. It's not a huge loss, just 10 handle loss. Very small loss, man. Trust me. As it reach until the open of this order block, I'd love to mark the open of that order block, as it has traded the open of this order block. I don't want to see any body close below the 50% of that down close body close candle. No body should close below the 50% of that candle here. If one candle close, the very next candle should close above the 50% of that pin threshold, because now it is my perfect order block. I want to see immediate reaction. Immediate reaction from this order block. Immediate reaction. The reason is I'm very near to the macro. So if it doesn't give me the run right now, then around the macro time, it can fall a bit. So I will be in a big problem over here. So I need immediate reaction now. It should work as a reclaimed gap. Obviously, as a reclaimed inverse gap, as you can see, it's a bearish gap. So obviously it should work as a reclaimed bearish gap, a reclaimed bullish gap or inverse gap. No body should close below this mean threshold. If one body close, the next body should close above the mean threshold again. Why it is doing this? Because market is struggling to break that last fair lookup from 15-minute chart. It's struggling to break it. Got stopped out? No more trade for me. I will just let this go. Market is waiting for the macro. Before the macro, it provided the lower run. After the macro, it will go higher, or go for that buy side liquidity. It's not the buy side liquidity, by the way, but it will go for that area. It's my belief. It will keep falling. I will do nothing here. But it's a selling opportunity now. Market structure shift, fair value gap, this liquidity, this low and that low, relatively equal lows, another selling opportunity. So immediately I can change my bias. I can go for that sell, not going for it, because as I told, I'm in live. So immediately I can change my bias over here to think about that sell side liquidity, not buying opportunity. Like previously I took buy, here I will go for the sell, not buy. Why is that? Before the macro, it is falling. So if it can make a fair value gap over here, maybe I'll immediately change my bias. I'll think about that sell side liquidity. Let me show you this, and I'll just outline it, not going to push the button. It's not important anymore. Mean threshold has broken. Order block is broken. It doesn't value. Something like that. Here, until this sell side liquidity here. If it provide the entry opportunity, by the way, until this line, okay. So here I'm going to immediately change my bias until the sell side liquidity, after getting that 10 handle loss over here. If it provide me the entry, I'll be safe until this area. Didn't provide me, I'm okay with that as well. It will come over here. I'll start to think about the buy again, or if there is a 15-minute bearish gap or something like that, maybe I'll keep looking for the sell until some certain level or anything. I told you that this is the low probability. It was the high probability here. Now it is the low probability there. The only reason is market didn't close that last fair value gap. You want to go for that on, make sure that your stop loss is too small, which is like 10 handle, as I showed you, just 10 handle. I'm okay with that. Market came here, made another relatively equal lows, this low and that low. They're the relatively equal lows, new sell side liquidity. They will be taken. The problem is maybe it won't take me. It is possible that maybe it won't take me. But if it takes me, this sell side liquidity and finally that sell side liquidity, they should be taken. So here I can't think about the rebuy. I have to think about sell. By the way, this could be the entry as well. Here, when it tap to this 50-minute fair value gap low, you can take the entry from there. Okay, it doesn't need to come back again here before falling. It can simply fall from this low of this 15-minute last gap. So I will keep it over here, but yeah, obviously it can reverse from the low of this 15-minute last gap. It doesn't need to reach until this gap, which should be worked as a breakaway gap. So immediate reaction from this low of this 15-minute gap, last gap, until this new sell side liquidity, finally that sell side liquidity. Again, it doesn't need to come back again here. It can simply tap to the low and then keep falling, because overall I would love to look for a buying opportunity. And just remember, it doesn't need to trade this fair value gap. It can simply trade that low, which is a bit difference. Okay, just a bit difference. So until here to here, it's like how much? 22, and the entry was like here 23, just one handle, something like that. Just no need to reach to this gap. If I were you, then I could take the entry from there. Didn't wait for this gap. I wouldn't wait for this gap, just would love to take little more risk from the low of this gap. But I'll just keep it from this gap, not from this low, to see this sell side liquidity and that sell side liquidity. Yeah, I got stopped out here. I'm okay with that because I knew that it is low probability, it is high probability now. Look at this sell side liquidity, look at that sell side liquidity. They are now should be taken before the macro market has provided me the lower run. So it should take the liquidity before the higher run again. Jack, I will go for it until this is not broken. I will just love to use this one until it's not broken. As you can see, it's respecting perfectly here. So I would love to keep using this one. Again, it doesn't need to trade this gap. As I told at the beginning, it simply can tap to the low of this last parallel gap, take those liquidity. So just one handle more risk. You have to take that one handle more risk. This sell side liquidity has taken as a shallow run. Still, this is the sell side liquidity. It's a shallow run. Still, that is the sell side liquidity. More strong sell side liquidity. This sell is high probability. This was the low probability. That was the low probability. This is a high probability. First of all, because of the macro time. Secondly, after making this fair value gap over here, it didn't work, respected that last fair value gap perfectly, should take the liquidity. Where is the liquidity? This low and that low. They are the relatively equal lows. So it should take that relatively equal lows. Still, this is the clean sell side liquidity over here. I'd love to mark the low here. So it's a clean sell side liquidity over there. For example, you didn't take the entry over here. So you are waiting to take your entry over here. It's not right. You can't take the entry over here right now. Even if it come here, you are not able to take that entry right now over here. Why is that? Look at the time, 10:57. The run has done. Yeah, it has taken that liquidity, but as a shallow run, so I still believe that market will take this low. But if it come to this fair value gap right now, I will have no opportunity to take the sell right now from that fair value gap. That was the only opportunity to take the sell from there. I could take the sell from there and hold my trade until this area. But now, if it come to this gap, I will have no opportunity to take the sell. No sell is valid now from this fair value gap, because this should not be touched. If it is going to touch, this buy side liquidity is more obvious before taking that sell side liquidity. So I don't want to see that it will touch this fair value gap and then go for that sell side. I don't want to see that, just because the time, look at the time, it's 10:58. So it's very near to the macro. It should not touch this gap before taking the sell side liquidity. Hey Richard, obviously it doesn't need to go that much, but I believe that it will go over there. It's my belief, it's my logic. Okay, so yeah, I can be wrong. Maybe market won't go that deep. It's absolutely okay with that. Because even from this area, it's like it's a logical level, okay? To be honest, it's a logical level. Just my opinion, okay? I'm not saying that it is coming here, but this is the only sell side liquidity I had. Just only sell side liquidity. And this is a very strong support zone. That zone should be broken. It's just my opinion. You don't need to think about that. Maybe it won't reach over here, but I want to see it will be taken from there to until this area. This is high probability comparing with that one. Okay? I will take a loss here for 10 handle, low probability. If I don't want to go for that, if I went for that, as I went, okay, 10 handle loss, I know how to mitigate my loss over here. You will think about why this market fall, why I was not looking for re-entry for the buy, why I was looking for sell, why the sell was more important. Okay, you will think about that. Yeah, I got 10 handle loss. Is it a big loss? No, sir, it's not a big loss. I will take that loss for 28 handle profit. Okay, 10 handle loss, 28 handle profit. 18 handle loss, 73 handle profit. Is it okay? My next interest to see this relatively equal loss here. Can it reach until this area? That is my next interest to see. So if I were in this trade, I would take the partial here. I would hold my trade until this unfilled gap, which is an unfinished business here. I would hold my trade until this gap by putting my stop loss to the break even. So if I take here, stop loss could be just above that candle here. I would hold my trade until this unfilled gap, which is an unfinished business now. Any kind of buying opportunity is good to look for buy, but yeah, that is what it is right now. Thinking is, can it reach more deeper for some unfinished business? This is the unfinished business. It doesn't need to reach over here because that sell side liquidity is the most important part. It has taken that sell side liquidity. I have taken the partial, didn't close my trade. Would love to see, can it fall for this unfinished business? Would love to hold it until this area. It should work as an inverse gap now, this gap. In other word, the support is going to be resistance now. This is the support. I want to say this will work as a resistance now for until this unfinished business. Why you suddenly changed your mind from buying to sell? First of all, I don't have any buy side liquidity. So I have to think about that last fair value gap, how it is going to react. One candle close above the 50% of that last fair value gap. It was good to me to think that it is a bullish. Very next candle close below the 50% of that gap. Nobody has closed above the 50-minute last fair value gap. What does it mean? It is perfectly holding the price. Okay, so what should I think? Just sell until some kind of sell side liquidity. I had this sell side liquidity, market has taken that sell side liquidity. I took my partial, would love to hold some unfinished business. In the meantime, I'll keep looking for any kind of, some kind of bearish gap over here for thinking a longer term sell. How long? Until the liquidity void. This is the real liquidity void area, or maybe this last parallel. It will depend. Okay. Can it keep going higher? 100% it can keep going higher. Can I take a buy? No, you can't take a buy right now because now you have the order block here. From 15-minute chart, you have the order block over there. So you can't look for any kind of buy right now. Previously, you had the opportunity, but now you don't have the opportunity to take the buy. Remember yesterday I took a buy from this type of fair value gap here. And just let me remove this one. That fair value gap I took a buy from yesterday. Here to here. I can take this type of buy, but all I need, one candle will go through this gap. There is no one candle went through this gap. So I can't look for the buy from here as well. Even if I am not, if I was looking for buy, for example, I was looking for buy, but I can't look for the buy from this gap as it didn't went through this gap by one candle. If it could go from one candle and I was looking for a buying opportunity, I could go for that. As it didn't do that, I can't think about the buying opportunity from here. So I will keep thinking about the sell until the unfinished business. This is the unfinished business. Respecting this gap, happy to see that it is respecting this gap. In this type of situation, maybe I'll put my stop loss one tick above that highest stop loss body close candle. Just one tick above that one. After taking the partial over here, this sell side liquidity, I'll just put my stop loss one tick above here. We'll keep looking for this week 50%. Why that week 50%? Because this week has traded this gap. So it has to trade some kind of gap. That 50% is also important to me. If it fails to trade that 50%, yes sir, it has failed to trade that 50%. That is a good opportunity to think about the part buy, but I can't look for the buy here. If it wants to go higher, it has to close now above this fair value gap. Until then, I can't look for any kind of buy because now I have this bearish order block from 15-minute chart. This is the bearish order block now. So I have the bearish order block. I can't think about the buy right now. It can be respected, this bearish order block, open the low or the min threshold before falling again. So I have to keep thinking about the sell. My entry, I would love to take my entry at the beginning of the run. This is the beginning of the run. As I told, it doesn't need to trade this gap. It can simply tap over there, keep falling. It is much more logical. So here you have to take one more handle loss, I mean risk over here. You have to take it. I mean, there is no other way, by the way, because it can be absolutely worked as a breakaway gap. If this guy come back again to trade this fair value gap, closed above this fair value gap, that is a high probability to think about that buy side liquidity. Until then, I should keep thinking about sell until the sell side liquidity over here and the unfinished business over here around this area. Stop loss will be one tick above that high because I don't want to see this high will be taken. There should not be kind of liquidity taken over here. It should be in discount. If it go above that high, that means it will go higher. As I got stopped out here, this entry is done by that partial over here, which is there. That partial, taking that partial, my trade is gone. Can I look for buy now? 100% no. You have to wait to see can it close above this fair value gap, and most probably you have to wait for a 15-minute candle close above this 15-minute last gap. If it can close over there, you can go for the new entry opportunity for this area. So new entry opportunity will be created when the 15-minute candle will close above this last fair value gap. Why you are thinking about buy sell buy sell buy sell? Why you are thinking? Because I don't have any buy side liquidity, I don't have any sell side liquidity. This is the lowest probable area. I don't have any direction. I have to work with whatever market is going to provide me. I have to work with that. If market provide me buying opportunity, I have to go for the buy. If it provide me selling opportunity, I have to go for the sell because I don't have any buy side liquidity, no sell side liquidity. That is why I told that if you are profitable over here, stop trading. Try it one more time, no worries. Here loss mitigation with some profit, like 10 handle loss, 27 handle profit, so near about 17 handle profit. Stop trading. You want to keep looking for trade, think about this fair value gap, how it is going to react from this gap. More importantly, how it is going to react with this last fair value gap from 15-minute chart. This is a bearish order block. It can be simply, it can respect the min threshold of that order block before falling again. From 15-minute chart, all you can see, it has respected that 50% of that week. See, look at the reaction from there. How it will not even a single body has closed below the 50% of that week 50% or the immediate rebalance 50%. See, and from the 1-minute chart, it showed me that I have no time to reach until this area. No time. Can I take a buy from this fair value gap? I wouldn't go for that. It will work. I know that it will work, but I wouldn't go for that. Why is that? Because if I would love to take the buy here, I have to cover this whole breaker block. So something like this. Here, I'll take the buy. My stop loss will be there. Not interested to take that risk because this last fair value gap is still not broken. Is it a high probability? This is the lowest probability. Do you think it will work? I think it will work, but this is the lowest probability. Same like here. Just because this last fair value gap is holding the price and there is a bearish order block. So I can't take that huge risk over here. 20 handle risk is huge. I could put my stop loss over here, like 8 handle. Go for it. I have no problem because 8 handle is nothing. But logically, my stop loss should cover at least that breaker block. That area should be covered, and the inverse gap over here below this order block, that is the inverse gap. And I have to cover that area for the mohawk. So 20 handle risk for this low probable trade? No, sir, I'm not interested to take it. Because if I get that 20 handle loss, it will take my whole life to mitigate my loss in this type of situation. So I wouldn't go for this one. I talk too much, right? I have no buy side liquidity, I have no sell side liquidity. It is the lowest probable. Whatever market will provide me, I have to go with that. Like yesterday, when market was falling, what did I say? I will go for the buy only. No sell. Every single time I'll go for buy. Today, it has provided me buy, I'll take the buy. It has provided me sell, I'll take the sell. just I'll go for that. Where the market came to this breaker block. Look at this breaker block. It came until this breaker block. Perfect. Let's see if it can reverse from there. Did there anybody has closed above this parabolic gap? No. What did I say? If you would love to take a buy, you have to wait for body close above this parabolic gap. Did it close? No, it didn't close. Look at the reaction from this gap, and also the order block from 15-minute chart. This is the order block from 15-minute chart. Look at the reaction from that order block. Is this high probability? Do you think? I don't think so. This is the lowest probability. Yeah, I would go for this trade. I would push the button over here if I would see two things. First, body has closed above this parallel gap. Second, my stop loss is like 10 handle, maximum 10 handle. I would go for that buy. The stop loss is 20 handle. Body didn't close above there. Why I will go for that buy? I'm not interested. I talk too much, right, guys? I mean, this price action is something like that. It's like the weird price action. When I don't have the bias, it's the weird price action because I have to work whatever market is going to give me. Scalping is good for like 10 handle, 15 handle, 20 handle, it's good. But if I want to hold it for a longer term, it's little difficult for me to keep doing that as I don't have the bias. At the beginning of this stream, I told that I don't have the bias. So if I don't have the bias, I won't be able to trade, or I won't be able so much confident to trade in that area. But I believe that it's a good session for learning the price action. How you should react when you don't have the bias. How you should react. Why that buy is not valid. Why that sell was high probability. Why that buy was low probability. Why something doing here is absolutely gambling. Nothing. Whatever you will do over here, it's gambling. Why you should not trade around this area, all of this area. You have nothing to do over there. I think it's a great learning session. I believe so. Remember, if you would love to take a low probable trade, which is over here, if you would love to take a low probable trade, you always care about your stop loss. In a logical level, if you put a stop loss, how much loss you are going to take, because this is a low probability. It's a low probability. You don't have any buy side liquidity. It is going to provide you a run. How much loss you are going to take? Every low probable entry should be below than 10 handle, at least 10 handle. I mean, below than 10, 11 handle, okay, something like that. Every low probable entry should be below than 10 handle, because 10 handle loss mitigation is nothing, but more than 10 handle loss is absolutely something you won't be able to recover. You won't be able to recover, trust me, man. Any kind of low probability, that is a high probable trade, so I would go for the 20 handle, maybe some more than 20 handle. I'm okay with that because it is a high probable trade. Remember the buy side liquidity, high probable trade. This is a high probable trade until the sell side liquidity. Then how far it will fall? I will hold it until this area. I got a stopped out, okay with that, but I would love to hold it until this area. It's a high probability. Absolutely the lowest probable trade here. Absolutely the lowest probable trade here. No, I don't want to take 20 handle loss over there. I'll just let it go. It will work. I'll let him go. Okay, go wherever you want to go. Go. You don't talk too much. You share knowledge. Thank you, Archana. High worries me. Might run more high up and risk is strong. It can be happen, brother. Or you can trade with less contract if your stop loss is 20. Yeah, it is also okay. I mean, you can less contract, or you can go for that. But for me, I want to see some kind of run against my bias. For example, I'm looking for a selling opportunity. Just for example, okay, this is not a selling opportunity. It is absolutely gambling to do anything over here. It's gambling. For example, I would love to take a sell over here. I don't want to see the run will go against me for 20 handle. For example, this is a high probable sell for me. This is a high probable sell for me. Maybe there is a sell side liquidity. It's a high probable sell for me. I don't want to see the run will go against me more than 20 handle. Why this handle is important? The reason is in a certain day, market move a certain level of handle in every single day. Most of the time it's like 300 to 400 handle, high to low. Most of the time it's 300 to 400 handle move. As ICT told in 1993, 1990, the whole day run was 5 handle, 6 handle run. The whole day, the run, or the, what does it call? I mean, I don't know. I mean, what does they call? I mean, there is a pivot point, I guess, pivot point, something like that. It was like 5 handle, 6 handle, 7 handle, something like that. Now these days, it's like 300 to 400 handle maximum, most of the time. So in a day where I know the most pivot point is something like 300 to 400, and I'm expecting that run, I don't want to see it will go against my trade or against my entry point, 20 handle. It's important for me. It's a universal line. Okay, 20 handle. If it is a low probability, I even don't want to take risk more than 10 handle run. So if I am looking for a selling opportunity and it's a normal volatility like today, it's a normal volatility. In this type of volatile area, I don't want to see the run against me like 10 handle, more than 10 handle. So contract size, I don't care about that. All I care, did it provide me the run against me more than 10 handle or 20 handle? If it do that, it's not a high probable zone to trade. So I care about that. But obviously you can just minimize your quantity and then you can go for that trade. It is also okay with that. But it's just my opinion, okay, brother? You don't need to follow this. Yeah, absolutely. The daily range. Absolutely. So now here, it's not even a possibility. It's not even a probability. It's nothing over here. Just nothing. You want to trade here, go for it. It's not even a probability. It's not even a possibility. Nothing over here. Some days ago, I mean, in Saturday, I don't remember exact day where I did the previous week review. In that video, I told you something. In one session, market has a job. When the job is done, market most probably will do this type of things. So in this session, what was the job? To reach until this last fair value gap. When market came here to this last fair value gap, the job is done. So if you are able to catch that run, it should be done because market has done its job over here. You should not enter into this market again. I'm in live, so I have to frame, or I have to keep talking about this price action. Every probability, high probability, low probability, I'm just going for that. But for the trade, you should be done over here because the job is done over there. That is why I told, if you get one winning trade, you should stop. First presented gap worked in Monday, worked in Tuesday, worked in today. 3 days in a row, provided you 25 handle. Keep observing that. So far 12 days, it is working perfectly. And 4 losing days. Oh, sorry, not 12 days, sorry. 11 winning days, 5 losing days. So far I remember, but you can check actually if you have any confusion. 5 losing day, 11 winning day. From the first presented gap, 25 handle run. By the way, guys, if anyone is new over here, you guys can join us to our channel. I'm waiting for 10K subscriber. Right now I have 9,639 subscribers. So if you would love to join to our family, you are always welcome. Make sure that you have subscribed and push the notification bell so that you can come here and wait for that. My direction is something that most of the time works. Today I didn't have any direction. At the beginning I told that I don't know the bias. No range, no bias for me. So I have to work with the market. Whatever market will give me, I'll work with that. By the way, how many people are watching and how many likes did I get today? Okay, 103 likes, 149 people are watching. It's cool. Outlander, are you here? If Outlander you are here, just let me know, brother. Why that dashboard is open over there? Okay, did you take the entry from the first presented gap, brother? I told you to go for one micro contract, just for one micro contract every single day. You can do the paper trade as well. You don't need to take your entry from your what was I mean the funded account or able. Just make a yes, one micro. Okay, did you get your profit 25 handle or did you get stopped out? Let me know that as well. Okay, that's cool. Just go for one micro. Okay, if you take a loss, just how much it will be? Maximum $50 or maybe $60. Nothing, nothing to worry about that. Just go for one micro and build your confidence first, and then you will choose which first parallel gap you would love to take and which one you don't want to take. I to profit from the first parallel gap. Oh, okay, Archana, that is also cool. I'm not saying any of you to take the entry from first presented gap. Okay, I'm just saying this to Outlander only Outlander. The rest of you would love to take the entry. It's your job. See, it's your responsibility. So please don't blame me or do anything. Don't do anything to me. That entry I just told Outlander only to take. No, nobody else. So please don't blame me. Okay, I'm really afraid of that. After 11:30, I'm not interested to trade anymore. So for that week, 50%. From 1 minute chart didn't trade, so it's a bullish yet. Would love to see the PM session. Can market go for all of this buy side liquidity? But I have to wait until the 15-minute candle close above this parabolic gap. If it can close above this parabolic gap, those buy side liquidity will be my target. I don't have any sell side liquidity. I don't have any buy side liquidity, but prematurely this buy side liquidity can be my target. Okay, which is 22084.00. So if it is broken, I will keep looking for that line, that 22084.00 in the PM session as well. I'm not going to stay in front of my chart and the PM session, but yeah, if I were here, I would look for that buy side liquidity only. Not interested to think about any kind of sell side liquidity, as I don't have any. Netkit, please watch the first part of today's live because it is important. Over there, I talked about this. The question you have asked me, I have already talked about that at the beginning of today's live. So please watch that first part, brother. I hope that it will help you. Hey, brother, I'm learning and improving. It's all your fault. Okay, I accept my fault. I'm sorry for that. Slow is fast. Thanks for the penguin, man. It's been a long. I don't see the penguin. Thanks for that penguin, man. By the way, how are you? What about your trading, man? I'll close my stream around 11:30. So until 11:30, I would love to wait how this market will go. Not interested to look for any kind of sell when this market came to this parallel gap. As I told, if it come to this parallel gap, then this buy side liquidity first, and then this line will be my next target. But I'm not able to trade here. No trade is valid for me. I won't be able to trade in this area. But if it come to this fair value gap, that means it is going for that, at least this buy side liquidity, and then finally that line. But without any kind of entry opportunity, because here it's low probability to trade. I am not interested to trade around this area. You will use this gap. As I told, left buy side liquidity should not touch this fair value gap. Immediately touched, okay, it's accepted. After taking sell side liquidity, should not touch this gap. If it touch it, this guy will take that buy side liquidity first, then if there is any other buy side liquidity. Didn't touch it, keep looking for selling opportunity. If there is any sell side liquidity, keep looking for that. By the way, I'll just remove it. The sell side liquidity. Keep looking for any kind of buy side liquidity. So it has taken that buy side liquidity, then next this buy side liquidity, then next that buy side liquidity, finally this buy side liquidity. I'll keep looking for them because I don't want to see it will be tapped. It won't touch this one after taking the sell side liquidity. That was the obvious sell side liquidity that should be taken. High probability. Come back again. Here it's a possibility that market will go for that buy side liquidity now, but not able to trade here just because this is like it should be broken to finish the run for this area. I'm doing, brother. Thanks to you, slowly growing my account. It's a good job, brother. Thank you so much. Yeah, I hope that very soon you'll be able to grow your account, in a much bigger way. Who has the confusion about that run? No entry opportunity. Remember, there is no entry opportunity, but it would go higher. Did you know that? When this candle tap to this gap, just specifically that candle tap to that gap. Did you know that this is gonna be taken? This one, I don't know. At least this will be taken, and then if it can make this liquidity over here and make another setup to go for that. Is it clear to you how you are going to think that this is gonna be taken? Why, when I was seeing this sell side liquidity, high probability, how did I use this 50% of that week and the 50% of that 15-minute immediate rebalance week 50%? Respected perfectly, remember? Nobody closed. Look at that buy side liquidity. Around this buy side liquidity, it has made a bullish fair value gap here. That is a high probability to think here to here, that buy side liquidity. From that fair value gap to that fair value gap. Why? Because it has made a fair value gap around this buy. Please don't take an entry over here because it's already, the job is done or market has started to go higher. But when it has made a fair value gap around the level of the liquidity, it's a high probability to go from there to there. Don't take this entry. I am going to repeat it one more time. Don't take that entry from here because you won't be able to put your stop loss in a logical level. I'm not showing you the stop loss over here, but remember, this is a high probability if it can make a fair value gap around the buy side liquidity, which is over here. This fair value gap is the strongest fair value gap ever. That fair value gap, that is the strongest fair value gap ever, which fair value gap actually create around the level of the buy side liquidity. Don't take this entry. You won't be able to put a stop loss in a logical level. I promise you, brother. Just for that buy side liquidity, you won't be able to put a stop loss in a logical level. My whole intention to ask you one question. From here, when this candle appeared there, from there to until here, the way market worked, did you know that it will work like that way? I'm going to finish this stream by talking this one more time. When market has made this buy side liquidity, take that buy side liquidity, fall, came again, made the fair value gap over here. It's a probability to think about the buy. Low probability because the 50-minute last fair value gap didn't break. Low probability. Give me another market structure shift after making some buy side liquidity. High probability until the sell side liquidity, this low and that low, relatively equal lows. No 15-minute fair value gap. If there is a 15-minute fair value gap, then until that 15-minute fair value gap, no 15-minute fair value gap, then at least until the 50% of that immediate rebalance week. No immediate rebalance week or just a body small week, there is no liquidity, no sell is valid over there. No sell is valid. If there is some kind of clean liquidity, then you can look for that one. But I always prefer the higher time frame over here. High probability to take the sell. Take that liquidity, make that bearish gap. If it tap over there before falling, before taking that liquidity, it is accepted. Didn't tap over there. Take that liquidity. It should not touch that fair value gap again. If it touch that fair value gap, this buy side liquidity is gonna be taken again. 100% they are going to be taken. Just there is no entry opportunity to you. Yeah, you can go for the entry if there is a perfect setup or your stop loss is very small. If you see some kind of clean setup over there, yeah, you can try those type of opportunity. But if there is nothing like this run, no entry opportunity around this area. No entry opportunity. Came here, that means it is going to take that buy side liquidity for sure. 90% of the time they are going to be taken. 90% of the time they are going to be taken. As it tapped to this gap, you have to wait until the body close above this fair value gap. When the body will close above this fair value gap, if there is any entry opportunity, you can look for that buy until this buy side liquidity. And above this buy side liquidity, when market has made the fair value gap around the liquidity level, remember it should be around the liquidity level. That is your another buying opportunity until the next buy side liquidity. Wherever is your next buy side liquidity, until that buy side liquidity, highest probable trading opportunity from there. Why did I tell you this? You won't be able to put your stop loss over here because your stop loss has to cover the order block. This is the lowest down close body close candle in that whole run. That is your order block. Except that one, you don't have any higher, order block over there. So you won't be able to put your stop loss over there, 28 handle for 14 handle. If you are able, go for it. But if I don't see it's a probability. So it's just bullshit. Okay, you should not go for this trade. This is the highest probable gap that should send the market until the liquidity, maybe little below that liquidity, because it can make the buy side liquidity before going to take that buy side liquidity. It can fall again to give you another entry opportunity to take that buy side liquidity. Remember what happened here? The way it made that buy side liquidity, then fall bit, then go for that buy side liquidity. That is also possible, as it is not the buy side liquidity. So it can go very near to this buy side liquidity, then fall, then can go for the buy side liquidity. If it fall, how far it can fall? Until this order block. There is no other down close candle over here which can work as an order block. So you have to cover the order block low. This is absolutely bullshit to take that entry for 13 handle, for 28 handle. That is why I told, please don't go for this trade. Even though it's a high probability, I'm not able to take this one because of the stop loss. If the stop loss until this area, it could be like 5-6 handle and target is 12-13 handle, it would be good. But as it is not that, I'm not interested to take that entry. Thank you so much, guys. As it is already 11:30, I should close the stream. Just would love to wait a bit to see if it give me the boom. Okay, until this area, I'll just put it over here. If it close below the 50% of this bullish gap, I will just close my stream. So I don't want to see it will close below this bullish gap 50% before taking that high. So if it go over there, I'll close my stream. Otherwise, I'll wait until the boom. Just always remember the fair value gap around the liquidity level is the highest or the most a strong fair value gap ever. It is the strongest fair value gap. Don't take any entry. You won't be able to put a stop loss. So please don't take it. Even if it works, don't take it. Just let this go, because another time, if you know this logic over here, you will be able to take your entry. It's not a right time to push the button. So please don't push the button right now. Just learn it, write it down to your notebook or whatever your rules book or whatever it is. Just write it down that the fair value gap has created at around the level of the liquidity is the highest probable fair value gap until the next liquidity level, or very near to the need. If you don't have the liquidity kind of swing high, then it could be like little lower of that swing high. Okay, as I'm believing that this market will come for this buy side liquidity, I'll put it over here to that level around this area. If it close below this 50%, I'll close my stream. Otherwise, I'll just wait for the move. My leg, man. Sometimes shit happens, man. Low probability. When I say low probability, don't take those type of entries. Okay, it came very near to this line, very near to this line. Now, if it reverse, it is acceptable. As I told, you have to put it little lower of that liquidity because it can make the liquidity. But I would love to put it until this area, as my thinking is this is the buy side liquidity. Okay, there you go. From today's session, the most important part you got the fair value gap. How do you know which one is the strongest fair value gap? Trust me, man, you won't get this information from anywhere. It is some kind of information people will give you by taking $1,000 from you. Keep that in your mind. Below this fair value gap, your stop loss should cover the order block. If I had an order block here, down close candle over here, any kind of down close candle, all I care about the down close candle. In that, and obviously the situation should be happen like this way. Market has taken the liquidity first. If the liquidity is not taken, this is not an high probable bullish setup. It's a high probable inverse gap setup. Yesterday, remember, I took the buy and I told that if I find any kind of opportunity, then I'll talk about this. For here, around this area, this is that liquidity area around this area. If there is a bearish gap, it is not a high probable selling opportunity, because around this area, it's not a high probable selling opportunity here. The reason, first of all, there is no fair value gap around the level around this area. But as you can see, this gap is a high probable inverse gap. This gap will be a high probable inverse gap if there is a sell side liquidity. If no sell side liquidity, this is going to be a high probable bullish gap. So this gap, you can use either the bullish gap or the inverse gap. For inverse gap, one candle should go through this gap. One candle, just one candle should go through this gap. Oh man, I talked about too many times that I'm going to close my stream, but I didn't close it. I'm a very bad guy. This low and that low, they are the relatively equal lows. See this relatively equal lows. Just keep that in your mind. Where do you see this gap? At the level of this liquidity. It's a high probable gap to take your entry. It should be around the level of the liquidity. Okay, like just that line should be around like this anywhere, but that gap should be created around that line. Now it can be sometimes little different, something like this. Liquidity is over there, fair value gap is over here, or liquidity is over here, fair value gap is over there. Sometimes it is possible. The high probable is the gap should be around this liquidity level, around any of this level. What is the liquidity? Not a swing low, relatively equal lows. That is your liquidity. Keep that in your mind. How do I know it's a high probable sell setup or high probable buy setup? First of all, if you see there is a buy side liquidity over here. See this buy side liquidity here. I told that right at the beginning of this stream, I'll talk about this. I forgot, nobody reminded me this. So I would love to add this one over here. That was the buy side liquidity market left over there. One candle went through this gap. One candle went through this gap. High probable inverse gap until the buy side liquidity. Now, before making this, before making this one, actually market didn't leave any buy side liquidity here. Okay, for example, market has taken the liquidity. No buy side liquidity left over there. Market fall. This is a high probable selling opportunity. You have to cover the highest up close body close candle and nearest the gap, near the gap, wherever the up close body close candle will be there, you have to cover that up close body close candle to take the sell. The sell will be valid if there is no buy side liquidity. So before falling, it cleared the buy side liquidity. Then it fall and there is a fair value gap around the liquidity level. It's a high probable selling opportunity from there. Just keep that in your mind and look over here now. To make sure that you have written it down. Okay, this low and that low, forget about that. Okay, here, let me make it bigger. This low, and I'm going to remove this one. Okay, look over here. This low and that low, they are the relatively equal lows. Yes, sometimes the fair value gap can be above that one, below that one. It is acceptable sometimes. Okay, but the best case of scenario, the fair value gap will be there. The best case of scenario, the fair value gap will be there. If I would love to look for a buying opportunity, I have to first think about the buy side liquidity. Is there any buy side liquidity? I had this buy side liquidity, by the way, and then this buy side liquidity, and finally that buy side liquidity, whatever it is. But here, that fair value gap is a high probable buying opportunity if it can go through by one candle. So if this candle could close above that gap, it is low probability because this gap is above this sell side liquidity level. So it would be the best to think about the here if that gap would be there, because then market has no intention to take that low. That fair value gap will be perfectly respected. But whatever it is, it made over here, come back again to this area, trade that liquidity level one more time before going higher. And let me remove this one. It went higher. Okay, but look over here, before going higher, it has cleared all the sell side liquidity. No relatively equal lows left over here. So when market took that buy side liquidity, made this fair value gap, do you need to think that it will go for the sell side liquidity? What is your sell side liquidity? Can you show me any sell side liquidity relatively equal lows? No sell side liquidity. What should you think? It will work as a bullish gap. How far? Until the next buy side liquidity level, wherever it is, until that area. And please observe if there is any fair value gap, last fair value gap from 15-minute chart, because Jack told me that there could be another last fair value gap. I didn't mark it, but you can actually mark if there is any last fair value gap, and then all the information I provide you here, you can keep using those. But this buy side liquidity, I believe that it will be taken, and finally I'll look for this one if it can go for that one. Okay, if there is no 15-minute last fair value gap or something like that. So yeah, so you got the how to use the gap around the liquidity level. Make sure that you got that point. Okay, anybody has any question? If you have any question, I'll just try to reply you, otherwise I'll just close my stream, because what I wanted to say I have already explained, I believe, everything. There should not be any question. Actually, I talk too much, you know, guys. I mean, not too much, but as I keep talking about the price action, I guess it's good. Otherwise, just write down buy. I will just close my stream. Just write down buy. Okay. I wasn't that think that I have the best part of the stream. Hey Jamie, thank you, brother. 21976 equal loan 21976. I don't have any sell side liquidity, by the way. I don't have any sell side liquidity. I don't know where is the sell side liquidity, but I don't have any sell side liquidity. My first sell side liquidity is over here around this area. That is my first sell side liquidity. And I really don't think that this market will come here. If it come here, then it will change the whole bias from bullish to bearish, which I don't want. Buy, don't go. Hey Casey, bye. Thanks, man. Yeah, I hope that we'll meet tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Outlander, we'll talk later, brother. I'm going back. I have to play. So see you guys. I hope until tomorrow you will be safe. Bye bye.